Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about employees of large tech companies who are really looking to marry other employees of large tech companies.
Yes, for the first time ever, we are covering Married at First Sight, and it's taking us to Seattle.
Seattle, the land of Oracle and Amazon and just many companies with HR needs, etc., and they all want to get married. So, we're really excited to dive into this, but first, a little housekeeping. If you've missed our earlier coverage of Love Island, just scroll back in the feed. Also, Rich Text is now on Patreon. Our latest episodes include a recap of the first 4 episodes of The Ultimatum, Season 4. Tess Higgins, aka Reality Scholar on Instagram, joined me for that recap, and we had a lot of fun with this very weird season of The Ultimatum.
I
Leigh, have
know
you been watching?
I haven't because I've been really deep in Married at First Sight, but I have
Yeah.
to watch and then listen to Rich Text because I'm like, I wasn't expecting this much amazing reality love series this
I
summer.
know. It's a busy season. It's a busy season right now. The Ultimatum cast is very, very odd this year. So, lot to dig into. But we got to get into Married at First Sight. This is our first ever attempt to cover it on Love to See It. After years of requests, we're finally
I kind of
getting into
convinced you.
it.
I was like, wait, what about Married at First Sight? It's on Peacock now.
Once it's on Peacock, I'm
I
I'm
was like,
down. But
wait.
seriously, there's no Bachelor in Paradise, you
I
know?
know. And no bachelorette. Like, it's just really a bachelor, non-bachelor, shall I say, summer, which we're not used to at all.
Yeah, I'm having to really explore other options. And this is season 20. The franchise has been going for 12 years. It's actually based on a Danish series. It first aired in 2014. And like Love is Blind, this is a Chris Colin kinetic joint. So this season feels very, and I have very little to compare. I watched season 1 of the show. Have you watched Married at First Sight in the past?
I haven't watched it, but I like knew of Jamie Otis' season, which is season 1, because of The Bachelor. So I was
Yes.
like, watch clips. I kind of would follow it because I was like, why would she go on this show where they get married at first sight?
She wanted to get married. That's why she went on The Bachelor.
But
That's why
that's like
everyone goes on The Bachelor.
that's literally my only experience with
Yeah.
Married at First Sight.
I actually saw Jamie Otis on Married at First Sight first. I had never watched her season of The Bachelor. So I was like going back in
Ah.
time learning Jamie Otis lore because I was watching her on Married at First Sight, which it's the only season of Married at First Sight I've ever
What did it
watched to
feel
this
like
day.
though back then?
I mean, very weird. It's an instant marriage show, so you're just putting people one-on-one with this partner they've never met in private spaces a lot. It's uncomfortable. Like, Jamie was not attracted to her husband at the altar. She had a panic attack, I think.
I would too.
I would too. And, and then you look really bad, because
Yeah.
you are looking shallow. You're looking like you don't accept your partner for who they are, but suddenly you're expected to sleep in a bed with them for weeks. And you had no real say over who that person was. It's a tough scenario, especially as a woman. I'm like, I don't think I would want to
Mm-mm.
be tossed into that scenario. And you hope for the best, but what if you're just like, we have no chemistry?
Yeah.
I don't want to be around him.
Well, that's the thing. They're like turning, I mean, they're walking down the aisle and seeing someone that they're supposed to be with now forever.
Yeah.
But
And
they
this is
lasted her and Doug, right?
they're still together.
Yeah.
They have like 5 kids, and that was part of the beautiful storyline of Married at First Sight season 1. You do get to see her give him a chance and start to fall in love and see how patient he is, that he doesn't take things personally, he gives her space, and how that can allow mutual respect to blossom and then attraction and love. And they seem like they are very happy to this day. That's not always what happens.
Yeah. But it could
But
work.
yeah, and I
It
think
could
their love
work.
story kind of sold the American franchise. They're like the dream of what Married at First Sight could be. And then there were many seasons where no one worked
There
out.
was no dream. The dream was dead.
And then some seasons where 1 or 2 couples worked out. So it's a mixed bag. Not a very high success rate. I think it's like 15%.
Hmm.
of couples stay together, um, which is similar, I think, to Bachelor. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of these marriage-focused shows actually have very low
I was gonna
success
say,
rates.
if 1 or 2 out of, like, a decade of content survive, then that's not bad.
Yeah, we're gonna call that a win. So if you're not familiar with Married at First Sight, the show follows a small number of couples. Typically, it's 3 to 5. They are matched by relationship experts. They enter into arranged marriages. And unlike in a more traditional arranged marriage where there might be a brief courtship period, um, they just meet each other at the altar and immediately say their vows. And then they have an 8-week marriage, including a honeymoon, and then they spend some regular life together. And after 8 weeks, they each have to choose whether to get divorced or stay together.
It is very well, Love Is Blind came after, so
Yeah.
when I was watching it, I was surprised at how similar it is, minus the, we're getting married the first time we see each other instead of just, like, meeting, getting engaged, and then seeing each other for the first time. But it's similar.
And looking at a lot of these seasons, there are fewer couples who choose to stay together, even though it's a divorce, which is not a small deal to get legally married and get divorced. There's a smaller number often of couples that stay together than a typical season of Love is Blind. And I wonder if that's partly why they're throwing 7 couples at the wall this season to see what sticks.
I was gonna say there are a lot of couples, and when you first meet people like on a new season of a show, I'm like, I can't keep everyone straight. I'm like, what's her name again? But
Yeah,
7 couples seems aggressive to me.
7 couples.
5
It's
would be
it's 5 would be the sweet spot, but they just kept coming and kept coming, and
I know it was like
I'm getting
matchmaking
tired.
session.
Like, really? No, not
Not
Dr. Paul,
again.
not Paul and Dr. Lisa again.
Let's
Uh,
get into these because they're new relationship experts.
yeah. So, yeah, this season is now on Peacock and they recast the expert. So, for years, famously, there was an expert named Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper
Hmm.
Schwartz was one of the 3 experts, along with Pastor Cal Roberson and Dr. Pia Holick. I'm so sorry. I didn't watch the show, so I don't know if I'm
I know
saying those
fans are gonna
names
be
right.
like, wrong.
I'm so sorry. They were the matchmaking experts for a long time. Obviously, they were slightly successful, if that. The new experts are Paul C. Brunson, who was previously one of the matchmaking experts on Married at First Sight UK, as well as a relationships podcaster and TV host, and Dr. Lisa Paz, a Miami based sex and family relationships therapist.
Hmm.
So we have now this dynamic duo, 2 extremely hot and well groomed,
I know.
telegenic
Paul was giving
experts.
me like Karamo Brown vibes from Queer Eye. I was like, he's well
The big soft
dressed.
sweaters, yeah.
Yes. He has like that similar like air about him. He's
I mean,
ready to just make people happy in life.
he's a relationship guide and in that way. And Dr. Lisa with her, like, I feel like she has glasses. Does she have glasses or does she just spiritually have
I don't
glasses?
know if she had glasses,
She has spiritual
but she
glasses.
does have that like, yes, the
Yeah.
energy of like,
And the big shoulder, puffed shoulder blouse with the
mhm.
little necktie. You know, they're both very made for TV. And Paul has had previous success on TV. So um they probably were like, let's bring in someone who's been working with the franchise, who's had success to kind of freshen up
To have
this.
success
To
ourselves.
have
Yeah.
success here, let's change something. This season is set in Seattle and it features a little Kinetic Productions Easter egg. Nick from The Circle, who was also on Battle Camp and then went on Perfect Match and flopped big time. And he keeps searching for the exact right show where he's going to be seen as the alpha dog, but not just because everyone else is a nerd, but they've got to be like a little bit nerdy so that he can seem more
Less nerdy.
alpha-ish than them,
Yes.
right?
I mean, that is a lot of shows. He
Yeah, he's
clearly
been making the
loves
rounds.
to be on reality TV. I don't know if I think if I went on reality TV once, I'd be like, That's enough for me. But not Nick.
I mean, that's why you've never been on reality TV, Lee. You don't have the thirst for it.
Oh,
You don't have the
just crossing
hunger.
my fingers for Survivor. One day, everyone.
One day. It also features a ton of tech workers, but they did spice it up. There's like a rugby player, a basketball coach, you know. Not everyone who works in Seattle
Is in
works
tech.
at like Oracle.
Mhm.
So the singles all gather at the beginning for mixers with the other men or women. And Marissa gets everyone to take a tequila shot because if you can do that, you can do anything. She's about to be paired with a teetotaler. So can he do anything?
I don't
He can,
know.
he can do anything, but he won't do that.
We won't do that.
Felipe talks so much about his prolific dating history and that one time that he cheated, but he'll definitely try not to do that again. That Nick tells the camera that he's sure Felipe's marriage won't work out.
Which, good assumption, but we'll see how
I
Felipe
was like, Nick,
does.
please, I don't think any of your marriages are going to work out. I've spent
Yeah.
5 minutes with you. I have zero confidence. But you can tell Nick is that kind of reality show vet where he's used to giving in his confessionals that kind of TV friendly
Yeah,
commentary
quick
that's going to spice
soundbite
things
that he's
up.
like, this is what they're after.
Exactly. So, should we get into the couples cuz there's 7 couples, so we can't twiddle our fingers for
We
too long
can't.
here.
And, they kind of bounce around throughout the first 3 episodes, but we're going to stick with, our little couple situation so that we can get to know them better.
Yeah, and like their storylines don't interact, so you can really kind of separate it out by couple. Just even though they're
Yeah.
going back and forth
But
from
that's the
couple
thing
to
that
couple.
confused me a little bit when they were going back and forth. I'm like, wait, I'm just trying to get to know her. But now who is this? Like, whose
I
wedding
know
are we
well,
at?
I got confused because at one point I was grooving along thinking I remembered everyone, and then they tossed me back into Felipe and Tori's wedding, and I was like, "Who?" I forgot about
It's still
them.
going.
It's still happening. Knowing Felipe, it was going until at least 5 in the
Four,
morning.
four, at least four. Yeah.
At least 4. So let's start with Adam and Marissa. The experts love that they're both tall and hot, and they look beautiful together.
Hmm.
Very important. They share some basic values. They both care about being fit, they're motivated, they like animals. Okay, so
Match made in heaven.
Adam is 31. He is a data analyst who is tall, hot, loaded, athletic, a skilled pianist, and for some reason single. And I like that's not suspicious to me at all. Why wouldn't a 30-year-old perfect bachelor who's a 10 out of 10 on like every metric be single? I'm sure there's nothing to look into there.
Nothing. He's perfect.
He lives on the water, he jet skis everywhere. He's always like, I just rip it. I
I
just
was gonna
rip
say he
it on my
jet
jet ski.
skis. I didn't catch that this whole entire. I love. Do you jet ski? Have you jet skied? I jet skied at pickleball. I jet skied at the gym. I jet ski to work. I jet ski home. Sometimes
Is
I
there
just sit on my jet ski.
his jet ski is his second home. Is there any part of his personality that isn't
Jet ski.
some of it isn't jet ski, but it's all insufferable. Like every single
Yeah.
thing that he values as part of his personality is like feels like a humble brag inherently or just a brag. He's
Yeah.
like, my thing is like, I'm just really disciplined. And like, my thing is, I'm just incredibly good at piano.
Yeah.
The something about me is
Disciplined
that
at
I
piano.
jet
Yeah.
ski everywhere from my waterfront home. I'm like,
Who needs a
Adam,
car? Who needs a car? If you live on the water, you jet
yeah.
ski.
It's like I have a car, but I don't use it because I can just rip on my jet ski to the pickleball court.
Yeah.
He just seems super impressed with himself. He keeps talking about how hard it is to find a woman who doesn't party and is serious enough to settle down with.
Yeah, and
He
then
does
of course he's paired with the girl who says tequila's tequila's like a necessary beverage in life.
I really do feel that the matchmakers should have asked a few more questions
Yeah.
because it does seem like drinking is a big-ish part of how she enjoys her free time, and he actively looks down on people,
People
and
who drink.
specifically women who drink.
Mhm.
He basically thinks a woman who drinks at all is not serious enough to settle down and start a family because he's too disciplined to drink. He doesn't do that anymore because he's disciplined and he was instilled with these values by his parents.
Listen, little does he know that when you become a mom, nothing is better than a glass of wine at night.
Has he not heard that we call it mom juice?
Yeah.
His wife would never. His wife's
Never.
mom juice is going to be like collagen mixed into agave
A
leaf
little
juice.
spinach in
That's
there. Yeah.
and also another value his parents instilled in him is piano.
Hmm.
The value of
Which
piano.
at first I was like, that's great. You know what? I love
That's so
someone who can
nice.
play piano. Do I love someone who can play piano many, many times in one evening without being like, okay, I think I've played piano enough?
I value reading the room
Yeah. Oh my,
personally.
the producers were really, or the editors really found some great reaction shots of
Yeah.
people listening to his beautiful sonatas.
Both times, because when the guys have this mixer at the start of the process, he brings the whole party to a grinding halt while he plays like just two casual 15-minute sonatas, or as Nick refers to them, conciertos.
Yeah. Conciertos.
Thank you, Nick. But like, I had to almost be on Nick's side here because why is he playing two 15-minute
And why
sonatas
is
in
there
the
a
middle?
piano?
You got to keep him away from the piano. But I'm sure they did. They were like, this reeks of production to me.
Hmm.
Production knows how badly it's going to come off, that he loves being center stage and making everyone stop and pay attention while he flaunts his skill.
And I can't wait for the honeymoon because you know there's going to be a jet ski involved.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't arrive on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Like, was
Just
it
soaking wet
Joey?
in his tux.
What season of Love is Blind is it where Joey walks down the aisle by skateboarding?
Oh my God. What season is that?
Ugh,
I haven't
it
thought
was a
about that
recent
in a
one.
while, but that's coming.
Denver?
There's no
No,
doubt in my
Minnesota. I think it was
mind
Minnesota.
that Adam's
Yeah.
gonna ride a jet ski at some point in the next few episodes.
You know, some part of his head is like, oh, Marissa's hot, but she didn't arrive to the ceremony on a jet ski. Can she really rip it?
Is
I
she
don't
the one
know.
for me?
There's nothing like I think that it's very admirable to foster and cultivate a skill like piano, but that's not enough. You also have to have some situational awareness. You have to have some humility. Not everyone actually wants to sit there and put their evening on hold to listen to you show off for
Hmm.
half an hour.
Yeah. Especially when they're like getting to know each other, like they're a new cast. That's probably like the first time they're all like together in a room. And he's just like, I'm going to take 30 minutes of your time to show you how great I am.
Right. Like music at an event like a wedding is background noise. And
Hmm.
you're like, no, no, everyone, I'm on stage now. Look at me. And everyone has to make
A
that
stage that's
face.
like floating over the wedding reception.
No, it's that I think that when she's being interviewed, Marissa says she would like someone who could like serenade her to sleep or something. And they're like, oh,
Let's run with that.
but does she actually want to have to sit there and look admiring while he plays long piano pieces all the time? Because in
Mhm.
practice, and how many women have had to, usually it's with guitar, but
Mhm.
that's a real problem.
We've seen how that, yeah, has panned out on The Bachelor plenty of times.
Paul, while he's doing his research, learns that Adam has super casually been seeing a woman. He barely even sees her, just like 5 times in 2 months. And Paul tells Adam that he needs to see him call this woman and end it to show that he's serious. And Adam insists that it only merits a text, but like a long text. Those are the levels are like no text, short text, long text.
Yeah.
If
And
you've done
Paul's like,
5 dates in
just
2 months.
call. Like the long text and the call are very similar. Also, they have an actress waiting right, on the side ready to answer this call because it
They
sounded like an actress to me who answered the phone call.
My best guess was that they had an actress recreate it because
Yeah.
they didn't have permission to like record it or to air it because it did really sound like an
Well,
actress.
yeah, 'cause she was very annoyed.
Yeah. like, he says he thinks she'll be confused that he even calls, but she sounds more irritated that she's been dating this guy, and suddenly he's calling her to say that he's marrying a woman he's never met on
What?
television.
What?
Um, she sounds pretty annoyed, pretty confused, but Adam, is now free as a bird, and this is the evidence of his commitment to the process that Paul really needed. To pair him with Marissa, who is 30. She is a program manager at a top Seattle company, quote unquote. A lot of them are like program managers, analysts, etc. In other words, they work in tech. She is also fit and driven. She likes dogs just like Adam. She is allergic to cats. He has a Maine Coon, so that would be
He's a
maybe a
big
little
cat
bit,
person.
yeah. And she also, as we've said, drinks. She's not close to her dad because her parents had a messy split, but that's okay. It turns out Adam is not close to his parents either, although
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't realize that.
Adam's family is just not coming to the wedding.
They're just
They're
not coming.
they're in Iceland. Like, they don't have time for this.
I want a documentary on what's going on with his family. First of all, his family is on a pre-planned extensive European tour right now. He's
Mhm.
like, they're in Iceland and Northern Europe. I thought they might come home from the vacation or cut it short for my wedding, but they didn't. And I'm like, why
It's like,
wouldn't they,
why
first of
why
all? And why does he not know that that's how they would be about it, you
Yeah.
know?
It's like, I thought they would maybe just, like, fly home. They could always fly back to their trip, but, it's my wedding.
They do seem wealthy. Like
Yes.
that's his big that's like part of his brand is like we're wealthy.
Yes, wealth. I'm wealthy. That's what he likes to say. I have a waterfront property.
He has a waterfront property. It sounds like his family just doesn't take the wedding seriously. But also I could imagine his family being like, "We have this huge vacation planned and you want us to come back to see you marry someone we've never met and that you've never met, in fact." It just
They're like,
doesn't
"Hard
seem like
no." Yeah. I feel like I would do the same. I'd be like, "Huh? I'll meet her
it's
when I get home, if you
it's
guys are still
very strange.
together."
It seems like a almost too on the nose depiction of the sad little rich boy whose family has more money than love,
Mm.
because he's so like, "Oh, my parents taught me piano and like they raised me with all of these like values and privileges and look at my lavish life," but his family can't come home from their vacation for his wedding and he's so sad about it.
Yeah. They
Everyone else's family comes.
they just had to put him in those piano lessons when he was a kid because
Yeah.
they were busy. That's what it's giving. It's
Ugh,
giving he's very talented at many things because he was thrown into many activities as a child.
yeah. Yeah, well, and you're also seeing, like, I think a lack of sort of the emotional intelligence that might be derived from having spent his childhood believing that he needed to be impressive rather than
Mhm.
be a good person or a good listener or attentive to others. He's
Mhm.
very focused on, like, showcasing all the things he's achieved, which can be
Yes.
very off-putting, but it seems like maybe that's more valued in his family.
Yes.
Um, so his friend's girlfriend has to walk him down the aisle.
I know his sister she was like, "This is dumb. I'm not going to your wedding
Yeah.
either. So here, this random person can walk you down the aisle."
Yeah. He says like it's like I don't even know where my family is. He's like, I think my dad might be somewhere hiking. My mom was in Iceland and now she's in like Switzerland. My sister is who knows, but she's not happy about this. He arrives for the wedding. He and Marissa send gifts to each other before the wedding. He sends her like a little red bungee cord with a kill switch for a boat. She thinks it's like jet ski related, obviously. Pickleball stuff, other outdoorsy things. She's relieved to see no hiking gear. She sends him a nip of liquor, I think it's whiskey, and a journal.
He's disciplined. He's not gonna drink that, Marissa, but
He takes it out like it's a dead cockroach. He's like, "Oh, well, I don't drink, but okay."
also the same thing with, like, the journal. He's, like, reading.
Reading? Obviously, I read a lot, but really? Reading?
Really?
Ugh.
Reading? I wanted her to be outdoorsy. I don't want her to read books.
He's concerned that there's no, like, canoe paddles or kettlebells in
Just
there.
oars coming wrapped in bows.
A full double kayak is just left on his stoop.
I knew she was the
Um,
one.
and in the journal, she writes that she wants to write an adventurous story together, but also like appreciate the little moments, microwave mac and cheese, afternoon naps. And he says, quote, love that. Cancer causing chemicals and microwaving plastic, but we can educate her.
Oh my god. Insufferable. This is the moment I was like, this guy's gonna really take us for a spin on his jet ski this
Yeah.
season.
I was getting more and more information that was leading me to understand better why he's still single because I don't care how tall, rich, mustachioed, and accomplished you are, I do not want to be around you
Yeah.
because of your personality. It's rancid.
Don't you insult our mac and cheese. How dare you?
Like just the condescension, like, oh, we'll educate her. Like this little unhealthy luxury she enjoys. She needs to be taught that that's not good. I think she knows that microwave mac and cheese in a
Yeah.
cup isn't good for her. His friend asks what if being an athlete isn't a priority to her, and he says that he has trained multiple people in his life to be phenomenal athletes, and he could train her.
Ugh.
And then he's like, but it's, at least she reads. I already like to read. And his friend says, I've never seen you read. I got the impression that he thinks that reading is a dumb hobby because he is literate. So
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
he-
I was born literate.
he's like, I can read books. So what? Like,
Yeah.
that's not a real hobby. That's
Yeah.
just reading. Everyone can do that.
She needs to turn into a phenomenal athlete with my prowess.
Yeah.
And then
Thankfully, a
she'll be
wife
his
is
type.
just a beautiful lump of clay to be molded into a non-mac and cheese eating,
Mm.
non-alcohol drinking, phenomenal athlete.
Yep.
Phenomenal
Keep
athlete, that's
keep
her.
dreaming.
He is truly spiraling about the alcohol. He tells the camera he wants to retire at 40, and he can't do that if he's hungover constantly and filling his body with poison, increased inflammation all over his body, leading to cancer.
Oh my god.
I feel like we're dealing with something in between or maybe a combo of Maha Bro and just like health related anxiety, like clinical anxiety.
Yes, he is definitely a follower of RFK Jr. There's no doubts in my mind.
Like he thinks that if he has a little bit of whiskey here and there, he is certainly going to have cancer and not be
Mhm.
able to retire at
Yes.
40.
And his body will
Also,
be poisoned.
also retiring at 40 is another red flag to me. Like he
We're
sounds
almost
like he
40,
is a
Claire.
we're almost 40.
We're
I'll be
retiring soon.
No, but it's because I'm not doing financial independence, retire early lifestyle hacks. You
Right.
know, it seems like he's one of these fire dudes where there are all these little obviously you have to have a huge income. You make a huge income and then you only spend like 10% of it and you invest the rest so that you have like
Mhm.
millions of dollars and you can spend the rest of your life windsurfing or whatever. For me, a really off-putting outlook on life, and it seems to go hand in hand with all the Maha inflected, like, having a single nip of liquor will immediately give me cancer
And
sort
yes,
of
and
vibe.
now we won't be able to retire till we're 75 or older.
Well, it's because I have a little margarita on a Saturday night just to take the edge
I
off.
thought you were gonna say right now, right during recording
Ugh, I
sessions. Just a
wish I were
little
having a
margarita.
margarita
Me
right
too.
now. Um, so yeah, at this point I was pretty sure I understood why he was single. And in fact, I was surprised he had ever dated at all because I don't think I could spend more than 15 minutes in his presence without needing to go to the bathroom and simply never
And
come
disappear.
back. At the altar, they are both shocked. Marissa immediately says, I know him. And he says he hit on her at a bar once, but they never ended up going out. He clearly finds her super hot, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to be open-minded or understanding with someone who doesn't immediately impress him on every metric, so this is, like, a good sign for them.
Yeah, he was like, "I saw you at a bar once and thought you were hot then, so this makes
Yeah.
sense." But she has,
I
like I can't tell her reaction. She's like, "I know him, but I don't know if it's, like, a good I know him."
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to tell from the jump what her reaction is. She seems pretty thrown to realize that they've met before. Like, I will say this for Adam, my first impression would be good. He's handsome.
Mhm.
I think she's, like, trying to place him a little bit.
Yeah.
She's like, "I know him, but, like, what do I really know about him?" She later says they talked for, like, 1 minute. Um, and maybe because he didn't, like, really pursue her after that meeting, maybe that's also giving her a little pause.
Yeah, the mustache perhaps might give her a little pause.
Well, I'm a mustache girl now. I'm won over by the
Listen, my husband's a
mustache
bearded
renaissance.
guy, but yes, the
Some
mustache on
Sometimes
him
when Greg
doesn't hit
grows a
as well.
beard. No, it's I think it feels very like what's the word? Like Jeeves and Wooster era to me,
Mm.
or like Agatha Christie,
Mhm.
like I could see him going shooting out on a shooting party in the
Yes, with,
countryside,
like, the little cap and yeah.
Exactly. And that's a look I happen to like. It's just his personality and everything about
I
how he
don't
is all the
happen to
time.
like
um So in her vows, she talks about how her strong mom taught her to show up for people, and he says he wants to make sure he and his person are always, quote, vibing to the max. Afterwards, they get some time together, and he asks what she thought of his gifts, and she's very complimentary. Then he says he was really worried that she mentioned reading because some people will read all weekend. What about pickleball?
yeah,
When
he's
is
like,
the time to rip it on the jet ski if
"If
she's
you're
reading?
reading, what do we do? What do I do?"
Right. So he starts off by making like a condescending comment about what a bad way it would be to spend her time if she wanted to pursue her favorite hobby for a
Yeah.
weekend. And then he's like, I don't drink, by the way. So I didn't like that you sent me the
Yeah, he
alcohol.
was basically like, "Good, I'm glad you liked my gifts. I hated yours."
No, he's like, thank you so much for liking my gifts. Here's everything I didn't like about
Like, about
yours.
yours. Yeah.
He's trying to assess if she's going to just drop everything about herself that he learned from her gifts in order to bend to his preferences, I
Yeah.
think.
And he's like, "Listen, I'm outstanding, but my parents, they're not here because they're, like, in Budapest or something.
Maybe.
I'm not
They
sure, but they
were
love
so
me."
close. They love me, but they just, they couldn't be bothered. At the reception, he listens with what I would describe as a set jaw and dead eyes, as Marissa's maid of honor says she arm wrestles guys at bars, needs naps, they're the cornerstone of her day, and wants a life full of mac and cheese and tequila sodas. It's like he really looks like he's hearing someone read out a list of personal insults directed at him, and he just has to take it, you know?
And he's like, "Isn't this a
He's
matchmaking show?"
he's like, it would be indecorous for me to punch someone right now, but that's how I feel.
He looked like he just wanted to punch whoever was, like, in front of him.
He was like, I can't believe I'm expected to endure this. This is when he's invited up to tickle the ivories, and Marissa doesn't know what that means. Marissa, please, it's got to be in some of those books. He plays for Elise, and she tells her friend, "Well, I'm learning piano, I guess."
I know, but I'm like, just because he plays piano doesn't mean you have to learn piano.
I'm getting the sense that what he wants from you is to sit and listen
Listen,
admiringly while
if
he
you
plays
play,
piano.
that's too much competition. He can't have
Yeah.
2 pianists in the house, you know?
Yeah. Only one star in this marriage. She only needs to learn the things that will allow her to keep up with him on his
Exactly.
outings. He keeps playing. He plays a second piece. The editor here puts in lots of the shots of people looking bored, sleepy, or even like laughing behind their hands, like they can't believe he's doing this. I have actually never seen anyone put on a show at their own wedding that lasted more than 5 minutes.
Yes, and this is a wedding, like, where he doesn't know most people at the wedding.
Right. I've seen like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get up and play one song with my friends because I, like, am in a band."
Yeah,
One
and I had
song,
too
and then
many
everyone
tequila sodas.
dances, right? He made everyone sit for, like,
He
2
doesn't even have any
full.
liquid courage in him. That's just him. He's just ready to go, always
This
ready
is
to
who he
play.
is. But he's not nervous because he knows what he brings to the table.
Mhm.
He's like, "I'm the complete package." A friend tells her that Adam is obsessed with jet skis, and she's like, "I know."
He
Cut
told
to a
me the first time
montage.
we met at the bar.
We see a montage of him telling literally everyone at the wedding about how he jet skis everywhere. After the wedding, they head back to their suite, and she tells Adam her first impression was that he was tall and had good shoulders. And he's like, "Really? In the suit? Good shoulders?" Like, he's like, "Are you like, say more about how even in the suit, my shoulders looked really
Yeah,
good."
he's
Like,
like, "Oh,
"Really? Oh,
yeah,
thank
because I
you."
got this, like, perfectly fitted to my body just so my shoulders would look great."
Oh my god. It almost seemed like a way of saying like, "Oh, well, it's impressive to look like you have good shoulders in a suit, so I must have really good shoulders."
Yeah, but I do work out all the time, so
Which is funny because suits are sort of intentionally cut with shoulder pads to make your shoulders look impressive, so
Mhm.
I don't know why he took that as a personal compliment, but he just loves the compliment. He tells the camera that he's not nervous because he knows how good he looks naked, and he's just trained for this.
Jet
So
skis and abs, swoon.
it's good to be confident, but that doesn't mean you're everyone's cup of tea, and I feel like that's what's missing here. There's this sense that's like the cockiness that expresses this attitude of like, "Well, of course she's gonna want me. My body is perfect. Of course she's gonna wanna be married to me. Like, look at everything I bring to the table." There should be just, like, a normal proportionate sense of humility that, like, you simply can't embody what every person wants in a partner. There
Yeah.
should be some uncertainty
No,
that
yeah,
he just doesn't.
he lives in the land of, "If I look good and I have some
Right.
skills, every woman is gonna love me."
Yeah. Well, we've been talking a lot about the manosphere era and like men thinking they're the prize and like they are a high value man and therefore women should be seeking them out and doing anything to keep them. And he hasn't used any like really clear dog whistles to my ear, but his whole attitude is that exact thing. Like he's
Mhm.
not concerned about anything but to do with Marissa except that she is hot and he can mold her to fit his life.
No, I don't think
Whereas
he
he's
spoke
just,
of
like,
her
perfect.
once. He didn't talk of her once. Like, yeah, I know we know he thinks she's attractive, but, like, did you learn anything else at this 5-hour wedding? Nope, he
Nope.
was too concerned with how he was feeling, what he was doing, and if he'll get
Yeah,
laid tonight.
exactly. Will he be admired as he deserves? Will he get laid? How much can he get Marissa to change herself for him? On that note, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk about the rest of the couples. And we're back. So let's get into Tori and Felipe. Initially, I thought Felipe was going to be the villain of the season. And then I realized that it's almost all of the men are going to be the
The
villains of
villain
the
of the
season.
season.
Like
Felipe is
every,
definitely an interesting guy, though, I must say.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think he should have been matched with anyone. Just gonna
Yeah.
put that out there.
The
The
fact that he's
experts,
out, yeah, till 4 a.m. and the experts are like, "That's fine."
he said he's willing to stop in the future. The experts love that they are both super family oriented. They balance it with a strong work ethic. And Dr. Lisa says she's going to be the guitarist, he'll be the lead singer.
So right there, though, I'm like, so you're saying the man is the front man, and the
Yeah,
woman she'll figure it out,
yeah.
she'll follow his
Like,
lead.
I guess Felipe is the kind of guy who demands to be the lead singer because he is also giving a bit of manosphere I'm the prize energy in his little package. He is 29. He is Brazilian American. He owns and runs an Italian restaurant. And he feels that he used to be ugly, but he fixed his skin. He started working out. He's really like, since doing that, I've become really attractive to women and I'm always dating and going out and having fun.
Mhm.
He's looks maxing and it's working out for him. He was out until 4 a.m. before his sit down with Paul, and Paul even tells him, like, "You keep being extremely late." He's like, "Well, I'm
Yeah.
up until 4." He likes feminine women, and he needs his wife to be close to his mom. That is mandatory.
Mhm. Yes. Him and his mom definitely have a
Uh,
close bond.
and as the mother of sons, I think that's beautiful, but that is also your relationship with your mom.
Mhm.
It's not your future wife's relationship with your mom. You're allowed to just have a close relationship with your mom.
They're
And so
setting
your
this
wife
up,
doesn't need to be
though.
part of it.
They're setting this up where something's gonna go down with Tori and mom, but we'll get
Yeah.
there when we get there.
I mean, that so often does have when there is this kind of expectation that the wife sort of becomes part of the husband in a way where she has to be equally wrapped up in all of his relationships and have the same sort of like even subservience to his mom that he might feel. It's going to lead you to some tough conflicts because who
Mhm.
wants to start out their married life knowing that it's their job to just always kowtow to this woman
Mhm.
just because she's related to her husband.
I'm literally just thinking of the cake. That's what I'm thinking of right as you're talking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very interesting moment. Tori is 32. She works at Microsoft, and she is a gorgeous brunette. She's very active, family oriented. She came from a poor background and she has been working to put her little sister through college. So she really feels that sort of additional responsibility that a lot of people who find success and good careers feel toward like their family who are still
Mhm.
struggling. She's like, it's my role to provide for my family now. But she's into a fun boy. She wants a dark featured traditional man who loves providing for his family. So before the matching, Paul does confront Felipe about having been late to both of their meetings. And Felipe explains that it's just that he parties until super late every night, and that's fine because he doesn't have to start work until 4 p.m. But also, he could definitely just change that if he and his wife want a different lifestyle. And Paul really is just like, okay,
Yeah, he's like,
if
"If you
you,
say so, great. That's awesome." Meanwhile, this guy is sleeping all day. He's
right.
definitely one of those that nighttime is where he thrives, and he sleeps till 2 p.m., takes a shower, and goes to work. Not sure
Yeah.
Tori's gonna be super into that, but if Paul thinks he's gonna be a changed man, who am I to bet against him?
And that's actually a really tough, like, that's a huge shift in your waking
Mm,
hours if you're going to stop going out until late at night and you've been accustomed to going out until 4 and then sleeping until late. He's struggling to get up for meetings for a reality show that
yeah,
he's
like
on because he can't get up, but he says that if he gets married, he'll be able to change.
yeah, because that's different. He has a wife now.
Yeah. I mean, working like restaurant hours or hospitality industry hours, I mean, that can be really tough on a relationship because
Oh,
how are
yeah.
you going to spend time together or have shared duties if you're awake at completely different
I know,
times?
I have a lot of friends, like, I have nurse friends who do the night shift, and then their husband is with the kids at night, and then the husband goes to work, like, that's so hard. It happens frequently,
Yeah.
but he's not really is he working the whole time, or is he out, at the clubs?
I imagine his restaurant is not open until 4 a.m. I'm
Yeah,
just going to put
it's
it
an
that
Italian
way.
restaurant. They usually close around 10, to be honest. I've been at restaurants where they're like, "Get out."
Yeah.
"What? I wanna be here till 4."
No, he really seems like the kind of guy who has a restaurant because he wants an excuse to be out where the party is all the time.
And have a place to take his dates. It seems he always takes them to his restaurant.
They can get the best table in the house. So time for the wedding. When Tori and Felipe meet at the altar, he is clearly thrilled. I mean, she is a regulation hottie. They sort of introduce themselves to each other and their families and their vows. They're both family oriented. He says that when they argue, he'll probably try to win, but he'll get her the best table in the house afterward. And I didn't like that. Like, you just met her and you're already warning her that you're going to be really difficult to communicate and have conflict with, but then you're
Yes.
going to shower her with gifts to make
Gifts and
up for
dessert.
and
Gifts and
dessert.
dessert. That's all you need, because I know that's what a woman needs in order to forgive me for my many
Yeah.
faults.
Like, sorry, I don't want a relationship with someone who's going to be horrible to deal with, but then just gives me something, a sweet treat to make
Yeah,
up for
nice little
it.
cheesecake.
What about having a better relationship? I think that would be a nice treat. Um, He also keeps laughing, especially when he makes little comments, like, he's like, "Oh, I've got so much to share with someone, and looking at you, I wanna share it all," and then he'll
Mhm.
be like, and I do not like to make fun of people's laughs, but it was jarring because it sounds like static suddenly cutting in.
And we've dealt with static here. We
Uh,
know how that sounds.
when you make a podcast, you become intimately familiar with the sound of
Maybe
static.
that's what it was, Claire.
I was
It was
triggered.
just
I was like, Married at First Sight producers, please, you have a tech issue." Oh, no,
yeah.
sorry, that's just
It's just
Felipe.
his laugh.
He's making himself laugh with a cheeky comment again. He pauses the vows to brush a bee from her veil. So gallant. She's looking for a traditional man, the kind of man who will brush a bee from your veil. After they exchange vows, they kiss and they walk down the aisle as they tell each other, "You're so
So
hot."
hot. No, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Felipe, I wouldn't call him like hot. You know what I'm saying? But she seems really into him. So there you go. That's all you need, I guess, is
That's all you need.
another mustache.
He does have a mustache. I think if you're into mustaches, that could really inform your feelings on Felipe. Um, I'm fine with them, so I feel like he's cute. If I got married at first sight and I were presented with him, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure, absolutely."
Yeah, he is cute. He's fun too. He has like a good little
Yeah. There's like a boyishness to him that I think also we know him from the package and we see the boyishness, like more a child like immaturity almost that
yeah.
seems to come through. And maybe that's also part of why we're surprised to hear her keep saying that he's hot because
Mhm.
he just seems like a little more immature than her.
Yes. I
And
feel like she's stunning. She seems like the whole package. She has a good
she's got it
family, a
all.
good head on her shoulders. So when I see her like, fawning over Felipe, I'm like, "Ah, let's wait a little bit." Shh.
During the wedding dinner, Tori's sister Macy gives a really sweet speech, but Felipe's groomsman does a classic roast. The roasts are always awkward in this context because the new spouse's family do not know this person. They have no context for all of the like insults and jabs they're hearing. And that's kind of necessary. Like it's very uncomfortable to hear a roast when you're kind of like, wait, is this who they are? Like,
It's
that
uncomfortable to
doesn't
hear a
sound so
roast
good.
when you know the person. Like I've been to weddings and I'm like, "Really? That happened?"
Sometimes they take it too far.
Yeah.
Um, but apparently, aside from doing gym selfies and having an enormous ego, he also loves ranting about inequality and telling his guy friends he loves them. And I was like, well, maybe he is from the left side
Mhm.
of the manosphere. Maybe he's looks maxing in a progressive
In a
way.
progressive way. There we go. We'll have to wait and see.
I know there's still so much we don't know about Felipe. I'm just so sensitive now to all of these little tips that people might be on in weird corners of Reddit or like listening to troubling podcasts. I'm like so hyper attuned to it now. When they cut the cake, Felipe says that it's a Brazilian custom to offer the first slice to the most important person in your life. And he says, "Mom, I love you." And then he hands it to Tori. So, in this moment,
Mhm.
kind of making a point that his mom is no longer the most important person in his life. It is now Tori. But in a way that kind of calls attention to his mom
Yeah.
and how important their relationship is that I probably could have done without if I were Tori. But Tori sees an opportunity here to get in good. So
Mhm.
she walks over to his mom and gives her the first slice.
She's like, "No, no, no. You take it. Like even though the
Yeah.
torch has been passed from you to me, please eat my
Yeah.
cake."
Right.
And
I
mom
feel like
loves it. Mom eats it up. She eats it up.
he's eating it up with a dessert fork. I think that this is definitely setting the tone where he is going to be like, "Tori, you come first, even over my mom who gave me life and who I love so much." And then Tori will see that her role is to then defer to his mom
for
on
all.
Felipe's behalf, right? Yeah. Like, she's like, he's putting me first, but in a way where I then have to put his mom first so that ultimately his mom still comes
Yes.
first.
This is a three-person marriage.
I'm like taking notes. I'm like, I can't wait to make my sons' wives or partners feel like they have to do whatever I want to. Back in their suite.
My son's wife better give me that cake. You give me that cake. Take my son away from me.
Back in their suite. It's funny, sorry. It's actually funny because even now, I think both of my sons would be just as likely to say their dad. Like,
Yeah.
I never really have gotten the whole like boys are more attached to their moms. Like they love their dad so much. I would be lucky to get the cake 50% of the
Right? Yeah,
time.
I just want half the cake. That's how
And
I
now I have
feel.
to share with his partner too. It's ridiculous.
Too much sharing.
I didn't make these people so they could give their cake to other
Yeah,
people.
give me my whole cake. A cake for me, for mom at every wedding from now on.
There should be a special cake for mom at
I
every
know.
wedding. Back in their suite, they both confess to the camera how hot they think the other person is, how attracted they are to each other. Felipe clearly can't believe his luck, nor should he, quite frankly. Like, he is not ready for marriage by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
And they gave him the most, like, established, good character, stunning, well groomed woman they could
Mhm.
find. And she gave his mom a piece of cake.
Yeah. It's gonna be good TV. That's for
Oh,
sure.
boy. Speaking of good TV, should we talk about Bella Jolie and Mecca?
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Yes.
yes, lot going on here as well. The experts love that they're both artistic. They're at similar life stages. They want to be finally loved and accepted after tough childhoods. So we meet Belle Jolie, who is 28. She's a dance teacher, a makeup artist, a musical artist. She does it all. We see her like in the studio singing, and she's really good.
Yeah, she is really good.
She just wants someone with good hygiene who's not lazy. So I don't think she's shooting the moon here,
You
you
know what?
know?
Give her someone who works in porta potties. Like, that's what she needs.
Listen,
No better hygiene.
someone's got to do. He clearly knows how to clean things that are very
Yes.
dirty, and you have to respect that. She looks forward to marriage because she wants to wear matching outfits with her man.
That's not my thing, but if it's yours, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in your 20s, that probably is the main thing that marriage brings into your life, is
Hmm.
just the ability to wear matching outfits with a man. Her dad was never in her life, and when she met him at 20, he asked for a DNA test. And apparently it came back positive because she says, despite the evidence, he still wouldn't recognize her. So that would be extremely traumatizing. That she has a close relationship with her mother. Mecca is 28. He tells the camera he'd love a woman to serenade him to sleep every night. Oh, no, that's the one who wants a serenade. I'm mixing up all the musically gifted people.
Maybe everybody wants a serenade. You
Yeah,
never know.
who wouldn't want a
I
serenade?
serenade my kids every night, so they're gonna grow up and be like, "Serenade me,
I know. My kids have
sing
no
me
idea
along."
how cool that would be if their mom could actually sing, which I can't. So he'd love a woman to serenade him, and you see the expert's ears perk up. I think that they decided to pair them at that exact moment because they're like, Belle Jolie sings.
Mhm. Mhm.
He also models, caters, and cleans porta potties for work. He says he used to be embarrassed by how gross it was, but someone's got to do it.
Hey, listen, I like that. It's true. There's a
Yeah.
job, it needs to be done, and he seems pretty good at it. So,
Yeah. And like, it really is akin to the or reminiscent of the moment from Love Island this season when Bryce reveals to Trinity that he fixes garbage trucks and
right.
it's really dirty and stinky work. And she's like, I love that you work with your hands. It's like, yeah, like there's no shame
And
in
Trinity worked in a
doing the
hardware
dirty
store,
work.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
See?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And so it's like really nice to see him have this attitude of like, I'm gonna lead with that. Like
Yeah.
that's my job and I don't feel weird about it at all. His formative trauma, was that his biological mom wasn't around, and then his dad and stepmom got divorced. So his younger siblings ended up with his stepmom, and he was, like, separated from them,
Mhm.
and that sounds like it was really tough, and it also seems like maybe he and his dad then became a really tight unit, or at least that's how it seems from their behavior later. So they both have the situation where their opposite sex parent just wasn't around when they were young.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the things that the experts are hoping they can kind of like help each other
Yeah,
heal
connect
from.
over, yeah.
So at the wedding, we learn from a Chiron that Beljoli's mom is named Violent,
Yes, I noticed that. I was like, Whose mother would name their child Violent?"
or is it pronounced like Violin? Or that I don't think I heard anyone say it, but it's a
No.
very surprising thing to see pop up as the name. She's not, like, she's very warm, and has a wonderful smile, and she's, seems very close to her daughter and is, like, a lovely presence. Mecca is wearing his best velvet loafers with stud-covered toes, and everyone keeps,
Making
like,
fun of
roasting
him.
him.
They're like, "Put socks on."
His dad is named Logic, and his grandma is named Victoria, and she looks about 10 years younger than me. I was like, "What's the math on this one?"
She
That's his
was
grandma?
stunning.
Oh
She
my
was
god.
beautiful.
He asks his dad and grandma for advice about what to do if the woman isn't feeling him. And his dad says, "What's the worst that can happen? You have other people who love you." This is like the only good advice that his dad gives.
Yep. It just gets
It's about
worse from here.
it's about to take a hard left turn and then fall off a cliff. Mecca and Beljolie are separately wrestling with the first kiss question, and we see a lot of both of them thinking through their approach. He's clearly really worried he's going to get swerved at the altar. She is convinced that it's not a good idea to start with a kiss with someone she just met. So she tells her family she will only do a cheek kiss. Kissing is sacred. She isn't going to rush it. And Mecca says he's just going to read the room. But his dad says, cheek is for the weak. If she gives you tongue, she's sprung.
Yep, there we go, Dad.
Like, okay, I don't think that's, first of all, I don't think that's what he needs to hear right now.
No,
And also,
no.
why are you talking like this about a woman you've never met who's going to be your daughter in law?
Just about any woman. Like, not great.
Like, and this is the thing that can be so, like, maddening is the way that you see even in this, the way that there is a slightly degrading insinuation to both things. Like,
Mhm.
what's the right way to be? If a woman is not sexually available, she's, like, weak or frigid or timid. If she's if she's sexually available, then, like, oh, she's really down. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't like this at all. That's gonna be
No.
your daughter-in-law.
Yeah, no.
And his poor grandma's just like, "No, Cheek is cautious. That's fine."
Yeah, like, that's the way it should be. She's never met you before.
Right. She Like, Mecca seems like a nice guy whose dad is kind of a bad influence on him, to be
Yes. You
honest.
nailed it on the head. And I
But he
think he,
looks to
like,
his dad for
relies as his yeah, he relies on his dad for so much that I mean, I imagine that dynamic growing up with a single parent, and it was his dad, and he went to his dad for a lot of stuff, even if his dad's advice probably isn't great.
Yeah.
Um,
And we learn later that his dad, he says he's a principal, like a school principal. And, like, that also kind of I mean, far from the first time, I think we've all had, like, high school teachers who have said inappropriate things or done inappropriate things, but it's not great to see that someone who's working presumably with young women is expressing those kind of things about a younger woman he has
mm,
never even met.
yeah, let's hope he's not using his catchphrases on the teens.
It just is, it's a little off-putting. So Mecca and Beljolie have a little speed date at the altar, just like filling each other in on what kind of food Mecca likes to eat, how goofy they are. His dad is sort of chirping him from the seats the whole time.
Yeah. I'm like, "This isn't a sporting event, sir." Like,
I know.
it's like get the ball, but in a way that's just like, I don't know. This was weird. It was weird.
He just, like, had to be involved. He had to make it about himself. But Mecca's kinda joking back. He tells Belgely that he's weird and he is the way he is because of his dad, but he seems sort of proud of that. His dad takes this as an invitation to then fully stand up and give them marriage advice. He says, "Love is seeing yourself in another person, so they have to find themselves in each other," which
Not
I
his
don't
worst. Yeah, not his worst piece of
not his
advice so
worst. I
far.
don't I it seems fine. I don't entirely know what he means by that, but, like, sure, that's better than most of the things he says. Mecca says he's genuine, honest, all of those good things, and says he wants reciprocity. At one point, her male friend like calls something out, like, "You good?" And Belgely is like, "Don't do my husband like that."
I
And
was like,
Mecca also seems thrown off. I was like, there was
yeah.
actually like so much crosstalk with the audience that I was getting really
I was like,
disoriented.
guys, be quiet. We're at a wedding. What are you talking?
I went to one of, like, Greg's friends' weddings once was like this, where there was so much, like, chatter, and I was like, "If your friends do this at our wedding, I'm gonna be so
I'm
mad.
gonna be so mad.
You need to tell them not to
Hold
talk
your
during the
peace.
ceremony."
Hold your peace.
It's just, like, distracting. I'm like, "Where do I look? Who's talking to whom right now?" After the vows, she points to her cheek for a kiss, and then she sings the first line of "Call Me Maybe." And everyone laughs. Everyone is basically laughing for most of it, and so the
Hmm.
vibe is pretty good, if confusing. After the ceremony, Mecca says he's feeling good, but he does not seem good. He seems like he's just, like, oozing anxiety that is covered in bravado
Hmm.
because he is fixated on the cheek kiss.
I know. What is this about? You got a cheek kiss. It's better than a hug.
I know. It could have been a side hug. It could have been a Christian
Exactly.
side hug. I think that what we do see is that most of the time, if they're attracted to each other, they'd share at least a little kiss.
Hmm.
She had a very firm rule against that. I don't think it's because she's not attracted to him, but in his mind, he's like, well, she's
I'm
just trying
done
to avoid
for.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she
done
she
for.
didn't see that initial attraction with me, so if she had, she would have kissed me, and he is like spiraling. He keeps asking her if he met her expectations. He tells the Camry that he doesn't think her family liked him. He points out that she didn't give him the tongue, so she must not be sprung.
See, his dad's inner, his dad's his inner voice.
Right. Like, how does it help your son to put in his head that, like, if she's really into you, she'll
Give
make
you
out with you
tongue.
at the altar in front
Yeah.
of her family the first
Hmm.
time she met
So now
you?
he's like, well, she's not into me because she didn't do that.
Right. All that does is feed his insecurity. Afterward, he asks his friends if the cheek kiss was bogus or cool. And they all reassure him and hype him up that she clearly liked him and they're a match made in heaven. He's like, "How do you think the honeymoon suite will go with her?" It's like,
Yeah, what?
chill.
You just met her.
Yeah, it's too much. Um, Meanwhile, Logic is basically grilling Belgely about what she thought about his son out of 10. Like, he wants her to, like, rate his son, like, hot or not style.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "I'm a principal, and everything is about, like, scores, basically." He's,
Great.
like, looking for
That's,
those test scores.
just looking for
On
those test scores. Who cares about their well-being and mental health as long as they get 100?
Unfortunately, that is the education system that we have today. You gotta teach to the test. You
Mhm.
gotta you gotta you gotta find out what your new daughter-in-law thinks about your son's looks. Poor Belgely clearly feels so put on the spot. She's being like, 9, 8 or 9, I guess. She seems really great.
I'm not quite sprung yet, but getting
Mm,
there.
yeah, but even if I would I give him the tongue? Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Logic then gives a toast where he reveals that Mecca tried out for the men's college basketball team and became instead a practice player for the women's D1 basketball team. And poor Mecca is like squirming. The whole toast is basically about all of the stuff that Mecca has wanted to do be in the FBI, be a boxer, be a pro basketball player, and then how quickly he gave up or failed at those things.
Yeah. I'm like, "Come on, dad. What is this?" But
I
he's a
thought
good
this was really
person.
mean.
He's a good person, and that's what matters. He just can't, he has no follow through. It's basically what he was
Right.
saying about his son. Terrible.
Right. He's really like cutting him down to size in this speech, and it's under the guise of good humored ribbing. But this is a real like character critique that he's making.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, like this is the first time people are like hearing anything about him on Belle Jolie's side.
Right.
So I was just, is this the time and place? Also, is there ever a time and place to do this as a dad? Like, I get that
Right.
it's like a little roasty, but it just felt like oddly placed. And
It felt a little too real and like it went a little too deep to his character.
hmm
You know? Like there wasn't even a pivot to like any sort of pride that he has in what his son has done in his life. He's just like, well, but the most important thing that that you have become is a good person. And that is really important. But for most of us, I think we see that as kind of the baseline. Like, what else do you want to brag about to your new in laws about your son? All you're
yeah.
doing is talking about all of his flops.
Also, how is it bad to be a practice player for the women's team? Like you're
They're
helping the
D1.
women. Yeah, like that pissed me off.
I really yeah, this what made me really it reminds sometimes people, like, will talk about, like, how moms are their daughters' first bullies, and
Mhm.
I do think that that is sort of their dynamic, that Logic kind of is always kind of bullying him and then playing it off as ribbing or
Yeah.
good-natured
But you
roasting,
can see
but
how it affects Mecca. Like everything he
right.
says is
And then he'll quickly cover it up and be like, "Oh, you got there, you did it," but, like, you can
yeah.
kinda see how sad he is when his dad
Mhm.
starts bringing this stuff up.
Yeah.
But Belle is feeling good about Mecca. He's cute. She's maintaining her boundaries, but she's like, I might have wanted to do otherwise if I weren't keeping that no kissing rule in
Mhm.
place. Meanwhile, Logic and Mecca have found each other again and they're standing in the corner watching Belle holding a baby. And Logic says she has baby fever. And Mecca says, I'm not ready for that. You know, I'm not ready for that.
You can't hold a baby as a woman anymore. You have baby fever as soon as you hold a baby. Like,
Yeah, literally. It's like, oh, look, she's holding a baby. She wants to be pregnant right now.
oh my gosh, I hate it.
Oh my God. Logic says he's getting vibes. You guys are already up to it. You're going to try to clap those cheeks already.
Yikes. I couldn't believe like when I heard this, I was like, what's happening? What
Well, and
like
then it gets worse somehow because he
mhm.
starts talking about, because Mecca's like, oh no, she didn't want to kiss though. And Logic says, well, she was flustered and you clearly had an erection up there. And he
What?
kind of tries to mutter it into his ear, but that doesn't work with mics. And
Yeah.
again, I ask about the dads in this season. Do they know that they're mic'd?
No. They do not. They signed the clause without reading it.
And Mecca denies that he had an erection, but he mostly seems amused. It's clear that he's used to his dad like talking to him like this. Yeah, it just seems inappropriate to me to do this kind of invasive questioning and commentary on your kids' sex life or your like imagination of your kids. Like why are you thinking in such detail about what your son is going to do
Also, yeah,
with
with
his
a woman
wife?
he just met. He just met her. We should be focused on them just getting to know each other, finding out
Right.
what Bella Jolie is into. You should go ask her what she does for a living. Like I
Yeah. It just kind of reeked to me of, and this is something happened on the ultimatum that really shocked me, where one of the women finds out that her like trial husband has been letting his friends like talk about her body and their potential sex life in a group chat. And like this idea that women's bodies and sex lives are sort of um something that is community property to like all of the men in her partner's life, that they all get to have commentary on it, and like involvement to me is really unhealthy and just reinforces these ideas that like like men bond homosocially through sex with women and
Yep.
like talking about sex with women. And um this is also where we get into question, and I'm like not saying obviously that these men in particular are doing this, but it just seems like akin to the idea of like sharing nude photos of your partner with your boys or whatever.
Mhm.
Like just because a woman has entrusted herself to be married to you or to have some sort of like intimate relationship with you doesn't mean that every man in your life gets to weigh in on that or look at her in that way, or she becomes like in some sort of
Like
secondary
shared
sense like
property.
sexually
Yeah.
available. Yeah, like I really don't like when men get too involved in their friend, and like this is his
I
dad,
was
so
just
it's
gonna
also like
say
why are
it's
you
not even his bros, it's his dad. So,
right.
you're learning, like, from that too. Like, you're learning from your father. This is how your father acts, then this is how I should act.
Yeah.
This is normal. This is how we talk about the women in our lives. Ugh.
Yeah. After the wedding, Belle and Mecca talk in the car about their sort of formative losses that we discussed before and bond over that. And then they get back to their suite and talk while enjoying some more champagne.
I I was like, "Have we not had enough? I am so tired. I can't imagine how much drinking you guys have done tonight."
Whenever a couple gets back to their room and opens a bottle of champagne, I'm just like, and I would be asleep
Yeah.
yesterday. Like, why are you? But this is the joy of being young and not having kids, and you're just at your wedding. You're like, why not open a bottle of
Bottle
champagne
yeah,
at 2
why not?
a.m.?
I don't know you. You're a stranger.
Then Mecca starts being like, I'm so weird. You're not going to be able to handle how weird I am. Like, I brush my teeth in the shower. And Belle is like, that's not weird. I do that. It's like, I'm so weird. It's going to be hard to weird me out. So they start having like basically a weird off, which she wins by saying she puts ketchup on her eggs, which isn't even that
No,
weird.
I was
Guys,
gonna
try
say,
harder.
that's not that weird. Like, if you have, like, ketchup and you have, like, home fries and eggs on your plate and you
Yeah, it's
mix
all
it
part of this complete breakfast.
and the like, toothbrush I've definitely brushed my teeth in the shower. I wouldn't say it's, like, an everyday thing, but there's been moments. I don't find that, like, extremely weird, but
You're under running water.
right?
It's been done. But it seems like they're aligned. They're at a similar level of weirdness. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, the rest of our Married at First Sight couples. And we're back. So let's circle around to an old friend, Nick, and his bride, Courtney. Nick, I've watched him in a weird number of shows. I don't know why I watched Battle Camp,
I know,
but
I
I
said, "You
did.
did you watch Battle
I
Cat?"
did. We covered it. I must have been like a slow month. I watched him on Perfect Match, of course. I watched him
Yes.
on The Circle. We used to cover The Circle on Rich Text.
Mhm.
Um, and he's always been kind of this guy who has always been kind of like the hottest nerd or the nerdiest hot guy. And
Mhm.
he can't quite figure out how to make that get more out of that. How to like parlay that into being like the true top dog. He's always like gunning for that.
Mhm. Well, this is it. Nick found
This
his
is
he was,
it.
like, married at first sight. I gotta be better than this lot of guys. I
Yeah.
have a feeling.
I'm gonna be the most complete package. And then he met Adam, and Adam played the piano, and he was like, "Oh, stop
Ugh.
playing concertos."
But Felipe was, cheating on his
And
girlfriend, so he was like, "Okay,
he's
maybe I'm, like, middle ground here."
the experts believe that Nick and Courtney are aligned on almost everything, except that Courtney is unfiltered and he needs to be more vulnerable.
Mm.
This was not exactly my read on them, but they spoke to Courtney and Nick more than I did, I suppose. Courtney is 28. She tells Paul and Dr. Lisa that she has done bodybuilding, but she doesn't want to date someone with the ego of a bodybuilder, just an athlete who cares about fitness. She wants someone who celebrated Christmas but doesn't go to church every Sunday.
Mhm. Very,
So, like,
very specific.
she's like, I definitely want them to be in the majority religion in the country with all of the sort of like status and that confers,
Mhm.
but I don't
Don't
want to
have
like have
time
to
to
go
go
to
to church.
church.
Yeah. That every Sunday is a bit much for me, but
Right.
Christmas and Easter,
I just want the signifier of
mm,
Christianity. I want them to like have the vibe of Christianity. She definitely wants to date a conservative. She says she's pro choice, but economically, you really have to be conservative.
mm.
Well, you don't, first of all. And also, we won't really have choice anymore soon because of all those conservative voters. So I hope you
Yeah,
feel. Also, our economy is literally falling
falling
apart
apart.
at the
But sure,
seams.
you gotta have those conservative economic values.
So glad that we protected our economy and now gas is like
I'm lucky I made it to this lake
$4.75.
I'm at, let me tell you, because that was a lot of
Like on
money
the
for
you're on the
gas.
side of the road counting pennies in your console, like, can we afford just one more gallon to get there? Paul asks where she falls on the conservative spectrum and brings up January 6th. And she says, "Can you remind me what happened
Mm,
on January 6th?"
and that's all we need to know.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, this is helpful."
Yeah, so helpful.
Like, this is, I guess, she's on the part of the spectrum where she's being willfully ignorant
Yeah, I'm like,
about January
like
6th.
a lot of the country is just like,
Right.
I'm conservative. Do you know what happened on these dates? These very important dates in our history and country of late too. This is a very recent occurrence.
It's very akin to the way that conservative lawmakers will be asked about unhinged things that Donald Trump has said, and they'll be like, "Oh, I hadn't seen that. I'm not up to speed on that, so I couldn't possibly
Yeah.
comment on that."
But
Like, she's not gonna disavow it. She
yeah,
just doesn't wanna be asked what she thinks.
yeah.
Despite this, Paul gives her a pep talk about how she is deserving of love, even though men keep cheating on her.
Mm.
Nick is 31, and again, this is our old reality show buddy. He is also an ex lacrosse player who played at MIT. He says he's more conservative right now in this way, where I'm like, right now,
Yeah,
why are
what
you
do you
more
mean?
conservative
Like, is
now?
this a week by week situation?
Right. And of all times to be more conservative, why this current historic
No,
moment?
he's like, I usually lean liberal, but right now
Right
I'm feeling
now,
conservative. I'm feeling that's a real hard pivot too, like to say liberal and then I don't know.
right. I'm like, is he one of the guys who's like, I'm not normally a Republican, but I just really like Donald Trump's vibe? I don't know.
Yeah, like
But it's a strange
love
moment to say that.
UFC and like I just, that was an epic event.
Was this filmed last year before the country had been run headfirst into a ditch by every single metric? And there were still some conservatives who are like, I'm coming out as MAGA because now everyone sees that it's great, or I don't know. He won't name any issues he has any opinions on. He's like, on some issues, I lean liberal, but I can't say on what in any respect.
Okay.
He can't even name an issue that he has an opinion on of any kind.
But here's where I get a little like, okay, matchmakers. What makes you think these two, just because he says he's a little conservative at this moment, do you really think it's a good idea to pair these
Well,
two? Maybe because they don't know much about politics to peers.
right, they both are like, I'm sort of into conservatism, but I couldn't tell you
You're
anything
like, I could
about
go
it.
back and forth, whatever. My husband,
Right.
me, we'll figure it out.
If I went to see a matchmaker, I would have a list of issues and my husband's required opinions on all of them. I would be a nightmare client. Um, he complains that he's been lonely and people think that reality stars are A-list, but they're just not, except for some of them, but mostly they're not. And you can
Hmm.
tell it just burns him up that he's not
A-list.
quite at the A-list level. He's like, I keep doing these shows, but I'm not an A-lister
I
yet.
can't quite reach.
Then again, he does brag to Paul about how people recognize him all the time, and he worries they're just dating him for the fame.
Hmm.
He says he has no agent and he's just here to find a wife, not for his career. And it's clear that this is the big issue that they have to dispel. Like, I think he was cast for his reality show experience and clout in large part,
Hmm.
but they have to make a big show of treating it as a hurdle that he has to get
Yes,
over.
it's very, like it is his storyline, is that he has been on these shows where normally they kinda, like, skirt the issue, like, it's kinda, "Oh, you might recognize him, but that's not a big deal. We trust him fully in this process." No, this show is like, will he prove that he's here for true love and not just Instagram followers?
I
Let's
mean, he's
find
been
out.
on a lot of shows. Like, it gets to a point where you gotta wonder if this was just the only reality show he could get cast on at this particular
Or maybe,
moment, and
like, who knows, maybe the casting team really likes him and they're like, "Let's give Nick
yeah.
another shot."
They're like, "We Nick's reliable, he always
Yeah.
comes through for us."
Maybe they didn't get enough signups this year, you know?
Yeah. He's similar to Adam, though, where they try to be self-deprecating, but all that comes through is how huge their ego is. Like, he tries to be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not really famous," but, like, he won't stop talking about how he was on
Yeah.
reality
Mhm.
TV. It's like,
Mhm.
it's clear that you just do feel great about people knowing that you were
And
on
also,
reality
like, a
TV.
ton of people from the circle are at the wedding.
Right. They're all his buds now. He's I think he has a twin brother, but his best man is someone he met on the
The circle.
circle,
They got
which
close, you
is
know? Which he was catfished on the circle, wasn't he?
by that guy.
Ah.
The guy who is his best man, according to the Chiron math, was the guy who called him Daddy Nick and would, like, flirt with him as a
And
woman.
now it's his best man well, you know?
Yeah, and there's a lot going on, there 'cause, Matt is gay,
Yes,
and
yes,
then queerness comes up at the
at
reception
the
in ways that
reception.
are
Yeah, well, yeah,
uncomfortable.
we don't know what drag racing is.
I know, I was like, "I hope that I know one issue that Nick leans liberal on
Between
for the sake
January
of his
6th and
friends."
RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, "What where is this
Oh,
lady
she is
living?"
conservative,
Yeah.
she's conservative, but wants to be able to have abortions. Which and every every woman should have that right. Uh, Wedding day comes. Nick's groom's party all seems pretty weary of him going on reality shows. Um, but he's like, "No, guys, this time I'm really looking for love. I'm just so lonely, and no one will believe I want love, but I sure do." They all point out that someone on the other side will probably recognize him, and he's like, "Ah, the life of a D-list celebrity. I still have to pay full price for everything." I'm like, "Oh, you're so mad that you still have to pay full price for everything."
Are these flowers free?
I'm also like, first of all, yeah, you're not paying full price for this wedding. It's free. Secondly, if you're not getting brand deals out of being on like 3 reality
Something's
shows and
going
being
wrong. Yeah.
that's on you, buddy. Skill issue. He also is like, "I haven't prepared in any way to meet her or her family. It's just gonna be just going on vibes."
Just vibes all around.
Courtney's incredibly buff parents hug her before she walks down the aisle, and they all just look so buff as
They're
they walk
so
down the
buff.
aisle.
I mean, the amount of muscles I could see in their
Yeah,
bodies. I was like, "I will never have that kind of physique."
I know. Well, when her mom walks down the aisle, Nick is audibly like, "Oh my god, she's so ripped," or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
Also, in the ultimatum this season, there's a guy whose whole family is involved in like competitive water skiing. I was like, is Kinetic starting to cast by seeking out families who are involved in these niche
Maybe
competitive
they're going to these, like,
athletics?
weird events and being like, "That family, we need to
They've
get
got
them. They
something.
got something."
The world needs to know their talent. But everyone on both sides is very pleased by the hotness of their loved one's counterpart. And after they say I do, they awkwardly kiss. After the ceremony, Nick ends up filling Courtney in on his MIT and reality show background. You know what? I've just figured out what it is. I feel like everything that Nick and Adam say is like asking someone who went to Harvard where they went to college.
Mhm.
And they're sort of trying to be self-deprecating, but they're, like, so impressed with themselves.
I played
I don't know.
lacrosse, but do you know where?
It was near Boston. I don't
Mhm.
know.
I don't
Okay,
know
it
if
was
you've heard of
MIT.
MIT.
And then she's like, "Oh, you're so smart," and he's really, like, clearly just so pleased to hear that. And he also mentions that he went on a reality show, and he makes a point that it wasn't a dating show, but of course he has been on a dating show too.
Yeah, you're like, perfect match is A dating show, Nick.
Right. But she had no idea. She had never seen him. At dinner, his brother asks her bridal party if any of them recognized him, and they all say no. And Matt jokes that he was on RuPaul's Drag Race. And Courtney gets excited and is like, "Oh, well, my family loves car racing."
I was like, and then I realized quickly she had no idea what RuPaul's Drag Race was.
What kind of cultural bubble could you possibly be living in where you don't even know what RuPaul's Drag Race is? Even
Like, even if you haven't
if
seen
you
it, you should know what it is and that it exists in our world. Like,
and it seems like the kind of cultural bubble where she's clearly like
conservative.
And, like, probably following the kinds of account I haven't checked this is not factual, but, like, she seems like the kind of person who mostly knows about drag through memes about how drag queens are going to libraries in order to groom children,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because then when Nick explains it's drag queens, Courtney gives the coldest look
Mhm.
I have ever seen, and
I
her
was scared.
bridesmaids are like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I was like, "Okay, yeah, this wouldn't be my friend group."
Yeah. I it sent a chill down my spine.
Yeah, it was yep,
I
it
I
was
was like,
a moment.
it's just a reference to a show that Nick wasn't even on, and they're like, "How dare
Dare
you
you.
mention that?"
Drag queens? We thought you meant drag racing, like NASCAR.
Like good American,
American.
red-blooded, heterosexual drag racing.
Mhm.
His brother mentions in his toast that Nick loves the spotlight, and Nick keeps introducing Courtney to people from all of his shows. So Courtney does start to get concerned about his motives. At first, she's like, "Oh, a reality show." And now she's like, "Oh no, he's like a reality show guy,
Yeah,
and we're on
everyone
a
at our
reality show."
wedding is basically a cast member of a reality show.
Right. She's like, "I'm starting to feel like this is just kind of his career,
But
and
here's my
I'm."
thoughts. Honey, you're on a reality show right now. You're filming it. So,
Yeah, but she's like, "I thought that this was special. I thought that you saved your first reality show for me, just like I did for you." She ends up asking his groomsmen about it, and they're like, "No, no, he's been yearning for marriage. This is not about just being on a show for him." And her very buff parents seem to like Nick, and she explains that she's starting to think of the reality show thing as just a way of being interested in new experiences. He loves new experiences, and she's like, "I think my high standards for today were met."
mm,
So they head back to the post-wedding suite, and she removes her makeup, and Nick is like, "I love that. It shows how confident she is."
most women take their makeup off at the end of the day.
Did
Gosh.
you expect her to sleep in her full wedding
Yeah.
face?
He was like, she's confident. Did you see that? She took her makeup off and washed her face and brushed her teeth.
She was willing to let me see her without her formal occasion heavy foundation look
And then he's
on.
like, your hair's like super long. And she's
Yeah.
like, these are extensions. And he's like, oh.
Oh, Nick. Oh, Nick, Nick, Nick. And then she says he liked what he saw, so I guess I'm in.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I always hate to hear a woman kind of framing her interest in a partner through whether they're interested in her, because
yeah.
we're often not encouraged to think about what we want as much as we're encouraged to think about whether we are wanted. And I definitely see that in her insecurities. Like, he thinks she's so confident. Meanwhile, she's telling the camera that she's already
Yeah.
worried that things could get
She's like, I
stagnant and
think
he'll
he
get bored.
likes me. I think he likes me. We'll see how this goes. To be honest, not sure this is going to be a great pairing, but we'll see. Maybe they prove me wrong.
Yeah. I feel like he actually well, we'll see what happens. I don't feel that they're a match. Like, when I see them together or see them interact, I just don't feel the chemistry between
Hmm.
them, even though they match on a lot of metrics. And I wanna analyze why that is, but I don't know that I have enough information yet other than just, like, the feeling that they don't
Hmm.
mesh. If only Paul and Dr. Lisa
Could fill us in.
could why did you do this? Um, let's talk about Michelle and Cameron. Michelle is 28. She froze her eggs after finding out at 26 that she had fibroids, which can cause a lot of difficulty with fertility. And it's clearly very emotional for her. She wants kids and cute kids, so she needs to find a handsome man
Mhm.
who wants kids, and she needs to do it soon because she's worried about her fertility continuing to degrade. And she's just like weeping a lot. It's clear that like this is something that she's worried a lot about, finding someone and starting a family. And so this seems like she probably chose to do this for that reason, to
Yes.
kind of jumpstart
And
the
she does seem
process.
pretty ready to be in a relationship. It seems like she's been really looking for someone for a while. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, this is kind of like putting her on a speed track, shall we say, because she wants to have kids.
Yeah. And Cameron is 37. He is a former pro basketball player. He played internationally. He's now a coach. He has never been in a relationship, but he's holding out for someone special. He says he's dating with intention, yellow flag,
Hmm.
and this scares women off. Whenever a man says that women are scared off by them dating with a view to a serious relationship, I simply do not believe him.
Yeah. Also, like, I think he had like one relationship that lasted 6 months. That's like his longest relationship. And he's 37. So
Yeah.
that's a little concerning to me. You haven't had
Like,
like one serious relationship?
right. Like, he seems perfectly nice. It could like that can just happen. Absolutely. Not everyone has luck in the relationship department, but whenever men are just like, I'm too ready for a healthy relationship with commitment and marriage, and women don't want that.
Mhm.
It just doesn't ring true to me.
Yeah. He's like, nobody wants to get married these
Like,
days.
I think that probably they do. I don't think that's the issue. Also, I kept getting thrown because I feel like he looks so much like Tyler Stanlin from Selling the OC at certain angles.
He does. That's a good
On
point. I think it's the height,
the height, the
but then that
head,
kind of
like
throws you.
shape.
Does that throw you? Now you can't
Well, it
see him as
throws
anything
me.
else.
And it throws me because Tyler was sort of a villain.
Mhm.
Tyler, like, got divorced from Brittany Snow because he was acting inappropriate with women on Selling
On
the
set.
OC, and
Mhm.
then had that weird will they, won't they with Alex Hall, where it seems like he was also lying a bunch.
And now he's
Like,
married to someone else.
right. So
Yeah.
it's not someone that brings the best associations to the table. That's not Cameron's fault. Maybe he's lovely. And I also think probably part of the thinking on the part of the matchmakers was, well, he's almost 40. And so if she's really in a hurry to start a family, it's better for her to be paired with someone who is a little older because a lot
Mhm.
of men in their 20s
Are
think
not
they have
ready.
all the time in the world.
Mhm.
And they're like, I'm just going to wait on that while we hang
S
out and
s
play video
stay out till
games and
4 a.m.
stay
Yeah.
out until yeah. Time for the wedding day. Cam's mom is dying for him to get married so he can give her grandchildren. She believes he's ready to be a good husband because came from a good family and he values the institution of marriage. His sister and dad think he needs a girly girl who likes to watch sports.
Mm.
That's a tough combo. They don't
Yep.
always come in the same package.
Mhm.
They
Luckily
certainly
for us, we
can.
live in the era of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, so more sports watchers than ever.
Yeah. No, those certainly can absolutely go together. But I am really curious to like know more about like he's giving a lot of vague like, oh, maybe I'm a little picky. I don't know why it hasn't worked out. I almost want to know more about what he's picky on
Yeah.
that things have kept not working out. Also the whole idea of his mom just consigning her daughter-in-law to start having babies
Right
when she
away.
has no idea
Mhm.
what her plans are. Michelle's parents met through matchmaking by her grandma, so they are wrapping their heads around the process better than some parents. But her dad didn't want to be on camera, so instead he wrote her a letter about how much he loves her and telling her to hold on to her inner self and not feel pressured to change who she is. That's very sweet. Michelle says she wanted a tall guy's guy who is intellectual and makes good money.
Well,
So
he's
everyone has,
tall.
listen, we can all shoot for the moon in our wish list, right?
He's a tall guy's guy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Michelle arrives at the altar in a horse drawn carriage, At the altar, they're nervous and both just keep introducing themselves and saying, "Nice to meet you." Cameron says he's very optimistic, and Michelle says she's always believed in manifestation and finding the silver lining in challenges. Also, this wedding is when it clicked for me that the officiants end the ceremony by saying, like, "Man, you may kiss your bride,
Mhm.
woman." I don't like that.
No. Especially in this situation, it's even worse. It's like, why don't we be like, would you guys like to kiss to seal
Right.
this marriage? Would you both
Right.
like to kiss the stranger in front of you? It's like, man,
Right.
take your woman and claim
Right.
her for your own.
Exactly. And, like, I don't think we did that at my like, the traditional language is, like, "You may kiss the
The
bride."
bride.
I think many couples now will do something like, "So and so and so and so, you may
Seal
mark
your
the
marriage with a
occasion,
kiss or
seal your
something.
marriage
Yeah.
with a kiss." Yeah. That's
Yeah. It felt
totally a
very weird to be
that
like, you boy.
right. That language is available. You don't have to do this. "You boy, that is your
Hmm.
bride. You may now claim her with a kiss." At the dinner, Cam's friends bragged to Michelle about how he was the best player ever at Willamette, which is the oldest college in the West. And he guarded Steph Curry in a pro-am on YouTube.
LOL. And she's like, wow.
He's also so much taller than her that everyone laughs during their first dance.
Oh.
But you gotta be 6'5" if you're gonna guard Steph Curry in a pro-am on
Exactly, and
YouTube.
listen, I like a little height difference in a couple. It's cute. It's
Keeps
fine.
things it's a little unexpected. It keeps things interesting. In his toast, her brother Colin reveals that she was just hoping her groom wasn't completely bald. Good news, Cam is not bald. She is also a Disney adult and she loves going out on the weekends. And he says something about how she has like more frequent flyer miles at her neighborhood bar than most people
I know
do
she
at like
doesn't come
Delta or
off to
whatever.
me that she would be, like, out at the bars all the time, but
Hey,
hey,
she's got
good
a
for
fun
her.
side. She's aghast, clearly. She's like, why would you say
Why would
that?
you say any of this? I'm not sure Cam's a Disney guy either, but we'll see.
Yeah. Uh maybe maybe she can take up basketball and he'll take up being a Disney adult, you
Hmm.
know? That's because they're going to start having to share each other's interests as is starting to sink in for Cam. Like he's suddenly looking at this woman he just met and he's like, I am now bound to spend all of my time with her forever until the end of time. And I don't know if I want to do that with someone.
I like being alone.
On the ride back to the suite, he's like, are you gonna like really miss your alone time?
Yeah,
Because
I
I'm
am.
really used I mean, he's 37. He's been an adult for over 15 years. He's never lived with someone or really had a real long-term relationship. He's like, I'm used to doing whatever I want in
Yeah.
my free
Listen,
time.
I get it. He is definitely probably gonna struggle a bit with that, but it's a
That's
good
something
point
that
to
can,
bring
yeah,
up. At least he was like, "It's gonna be tough, right?" And I don't think she's as concerned as he is, but
it's hard to adjust. It's hard to give up those routines you're used to. Um, but also, I was like, Cam, first of all, you can still have a little time to yourself
yeah,
as a
she's not
treat.
gonna be like stuck with you.
And also the goal is that you will actually be doing what you want because you will be wanting to spend your time with your partner.
Mhm.
That's the dream. He also mentions how he's, never had a previous long-term relationship because he's been really picky. And she previously had a relationship that almost ended in engagement from like I think 22 to 25. And she's kind of concerned. She's like, "Oh, I'm scared now that you're going to be kind of critical of
Of
everything
me,
I
yeah, because like,
do."
am I, like, meeting the expectations?
Right. Now she's sort of like with someone who was trapped into working on a relationship with her, but clearly in the past he has not shown much interest in working on a relationship with someone
Mhm,
who didn't meet every single one of his criteria. So she's now trapped in this position potentially of being nitpicked.
mhm.
So he tries to reassure her that it wasn't just him being picky, it was also circumstance, yada yada. It's going to be totally fine. She does tell him that Steph Curry was one of her celebrity crushes, and by the transitive property of him guarding Steph Curry at a pro-am on YouTube, now she's basically married to Steph Curry.
Exactly. She's not complaining.
Yeah. She's like, even though you don't look like him at all
Yeah,
good.
he's like, me and Steph Curry, not the same.
Not really the same physical type. Both tall,
Hmm.
I think probably.
Both play basketball.
Both play basketball. They've got those basketball figures. Next is Sean and Nikki. The experts do question whether Nikki will be attracted to Sean, but they think maybe he'll override it because of all their other matches. Dr. Lee says like they're going to be a quintessential power couple. What kind of power couple? Well,
I'm like,
let's learn a
yeah,
little bit more.
sure.
Nikki is 46. She's an HR lead at a tech company. And she says that men are too socially awkward to approach her. So she's been prioritizing her career. She wants children of her own. And she's like, I know that might be tough because I'm 46, but maybe with science, who knows? She says she wants a man who towers over her. But then she says, well, I've dated men under 6 foot who were also towering in other ways. And so that was great. And she says she's actually a sapiosexual.
And the matchmakers ran with this because they were like, oh, well, she will date a shorter man. So check.
I feel like this was a little bit on Nikki and a little bit on the matchmaker.
Hmm.
If you want a tall man, don't
State
say
it.
you're a sapiosexual,
Hmm.
just say it. At the same time, if she says she wants a man who towers over her, but he could be under 6 foot, but still sort of embody that energy, I don't think that means 5'6" and like teddy bear like
Hmm. Hmm.
in demeanor. I don't think that Sean is giving towering over her in
No,
any
and I
way.
think the matchmakers were definitely like, he'll work. It could
Yeah,
work.
she said it could work, so it'll be fine. She asked for a minimum income of $250,000 a year. She
She
is
goes,
very
yeah. She's
successful.
like, maybe I'll go to 200.
Right.
That's the lowest I'll go.
Well, Paul really pushes back. He's like, that's really rare. Like the average income is like $68,000 a year or something. So why is a lower amount than 250K not acceptable? And she makes a really fair point, I think, which is that the difference between her salary and a lower earning man has in the past made her partners feel emasculated.
Hmm.
And so it's not just a question of wanting him to provide for her. It's also about knowing that she's going to be paired with someone who will not feel insecure and
Hmm.
take that out on her, which
Hmm.
is a huge problem that women have.
Absolutely.
And she agrees to the floor of 200K. And Paul's like, okay. And to be fair, she's 46. She's got a lot of very specific standards that are hard to supply, probably.
Yes, and I bet you she's dated a lot of men and she's seen
Yeah.
issues that arise and she knows what works and doesn't work.
And I think there's a very good chance that it would be impossible to match every one of her requirements. And they probably should have just not matched her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fair to say we can't find a towering, accomplished Black man who makes $300,000 a year who wants to go on Married at First Sight and is single
Yeah. But we'll keep you in
in the
mind for
Seattle area,
future
right?
seasons.
Right. I'm sorry, we don't have a match for you today. And I think maybe she could pursue other like avenues of finding that perfect person, but they clearly wanted her and Sean on the season, so they
Yeah.
cross their fingers and hope for the best. Sean is 47. He wants a flirty, fun woman. He's a college VP of administration. He is 5'6". So definitely short king.
Hmm.
He was, despite this, as he puts it, like still a star athlete as well as a star student, valedictorian, etc. He's like, I just really always strove to set high standards for myself and meet them. And so I excelled in everything, basically. His name is Sean
Yeah, I
Best.
was gonna say
So,
the matchmaker's like, and your name is Sean Best. Does that have
right. The nomenclature is destiny, right?
He
Like
is the
if your name is
best.
best, you have to be the best.
Can't be the worst.
And he also wants kids, but he says he is open to adoption. He also loves tall, dominant women. He says he's dated beauty queens. He likes that leggy look. And as a pastor's kid, he says he was very sexually repressed. He didn't really learn to explore his sexuality and sensuality until the end of his 20s. He also says that he's comfortable being the lower earner and he has been that person in past relationships, but now he makes a very comfortable salary. And so he could happily be the provider.
Mm.
So there are a lot of things where they're clearly like, well, he's bringing certain kinds of confidence and accomplishment to the relationship that Nikki seems to want.
Yes,
He makes a
they
good amount of
do have a
money.
lot in common. It's really the
Yeah.
height difference and just I feel like the attitude that she was looking for in someone.
Yeah. The reality too is just that like you can match someone on every single line of what they want and it still could just not be there
Oh yeah.
when you actually meet
Yeah.
them. But the experts are like, let's give them a shot at being a quintessential power couple. Time for the wedding. While getting ready, Nikki looks at the ring she has for Sean and she puts it on and she's like, "Oh, it's big." And her whole bridal party is like, "He must be tall." That's the only reason that
Yeah,
the ring
big
would be big.
fingers, big guys.
Um, and Nikki jokes about doing the math to like extrapolate his height. But then she's like, "No, no, we don't know that he's tall. I will receive him the way God has made him. I've matured."
Mhm.
He sends her a pendant with their wedding date and she weeps. She's like, "It's perfect. It's just what I would have picked." And also other like there was like a big package that came over and all we saw was the pendant,
Yeah, I
I
was like, "What
think.
else was in there?"
What else was in there? Probably lingerie, having met Sean. Meanwhile, he's telling his loved ones that he had a vivid dream of his wedding day and he believes in the neuroscience of dreams. So this makes him believe his marriage will work out.
Yeah.
What are they saying on the
I'm
neuroscience
like, "What
podcast
is
that he's
yeah,
listening to?
what's the neuroscience of dreams?"
It's that they predict the future, apparently. I need to listen to more science podcasts.
Mhm.
He dons a brown velvet tuxedo jacket, and as he walks out, he hypes up the crowd. He introduces himself to his future mother in law, who looks a bit confused. Clearly, he's not what she was expecting
She's like, "Who are
either.
you?"
And he's like, "What should I call you?" And she's like, "Mother in
M
law?" At the altar, Nikki looks more confused than anyone. She keeps looking around and says, "What am I supposed to do? Stand here and wait for my groom?"
Yeah, I was like, do you not see Sean? He's right here. He's not that short."
Well, then when the officiant starts speaking, she kind of startles, and I genuinely think that she thought he was the officiant and didn't really register the actual officiant
She had, like,
until
something in her head, like, he's gonna look like this.
I do think he has a bit of a wedding officiant vibe going on.
Yeah, yeah, he
It's very cheery, jolly,
and when
like
he walked in, he was like, "Hey, everybody, we ready to see
exactly.
them get married. Who are
He's doing
you?"
crowd work. Warm, like he
Yeah.
just like seems like a comfortable presence to have marrying you. He comes from a pastor's family, so that makes sense. But then the officiant pipes up and is like, "Nikki, this is your groom Sean," and she kind of startles and is like, "Wait, that's the officiant,
Yeah.
and that's my husband."
Mhm. It takes her a second to be like, "Oh."
Yeah, this is rough. She can barely bring herself to say, "Nice to meet you." She introduces herself by saying she shows up every day to try. She tries golf, she tries headstands. He introduces himself by saying his dad called him Dr. Sean from the time he was 3. And it worked because he became a doctor and he's always pushing himself to succeed. And then he says for the last year, he's been buying 2 of everything in preparation for this. He's ready.
Mm.
I do think this is something that you hear on the kind of podcast he's clearly listening to, which is like, if you're ready to get married, you need to like literally make space in your life
Yes.
for a partner to show
So
up.
he's like, "I'm gonna buy 2 ladles. I'm gonna buy, 2 armchairs. I'm gonna
2
buy 2
toothbrush
twin
holders,
beds."
2 twin beds. I really had this moment where I was like, "What do you need 2
2 of,
of?"
that's what I thought of, like, what are we,
I feel like you either need 1 that you share or you need a lot, like plates or towels.
exactly, like, I get the toothbrushes, is that what he meant?
Yeah, maybe it's like a toothbrush holder or, slippers. I'd
Slipper robe, 2
robe.
robes,
I don't know. I hope we see. I hope they move into his house so we can see
2
the 2 of
silky
everything.
pajama sets.
After the vows, he asks for a little kiss and she agrees, and then they jump the broom. Afterward, he says he can give her physical space, and she's like, "Yeah, let's take a little
Little
breaky
breaky
break from
break.
hand holding."
Just a little breaky break, I love that.
She doesn't wanna touch him, and I think that's fair, and the reality is, like, even if you are a sapiosexual, she's maintaining this, she tells the camera, like, "He has kind eyes," and, like, "I'm a sapiosexual, I can do this." That doesn't mean that you're instantly attracted to everyone you meet, and they really haven't had any time to explore whether their chemistry or his personality is going to inspire feelings of attraction in
Yes,
her.
and he just dives right in. He's like, "You're my wife now, so."
Yeah. He's not prepared for the slow burn.
Mhm.
He tells her he's been single because he's been waiting for a 10 out of 10 on everything. No more 10s intellectually that he's not attracted to. He's like, I'm holding out for someone perfect, and here she is. And Nikki's like very flattered, but it also seems very clearly like he falls into the category of maybe a 10 intellectually that she's not attracted
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And so she sort of like flinches when he says that.
She's like,
Oh,
there's
it's
a lot of
rough. But
flinching with Nikki
yeah, there's
towards
a lot of
Shaw.
flinching. She just kind of like doesn't want him to touch her at all. Like there isn't even that sort of first date level of comfort that you might see. And he expects to be touching quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, but they both love neuroscience. So they've got that going for them. During the reception, her friends get her to the side and ask what she really thinks. Like how is she really feeling? And she says, "Oh, how do I feel? That's a general question. I mean, this wine is really great."
The wine's
And
good. The
that's a pretty
man, not so much.
But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Like, great, actually. Her friends ask if she's open to physical intimacy, and she jokes like a peck on the cheek and says she wants to be friends first.
Hmm.
So obviously, these are not things that you say if you are happy about the pairing that
Yeah.
you have been put into. Meanwhile, Sean is asking his mentor for advice on basically just how to restrain himself from moving too quickly physically.
But yeah, this conversation works too from what
Yeah, I mean, it seems to really I was like, "You're 47. You need to calm down a little bit."
Yeah,
Like,
let's reel it in there, bud.
I feel like you should have the maturity at this age to be a little more patient about the woman you just met wanting to progress things
Mhm.
physically. But he's like, I've moved too fast in the physical area in the past. I'm about to share a bed with this woman all the time. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle it?" And his mentor tells him it's worth the wait and his wife will love him for respecting her enough to give her time. And Sean is like, perfect. I will just wait a couple hours and I will ask her if she wants to do 69. And then I'll be like, I'm just kidding. He's like, there's good chemistry. Maybe I should just put on a Speedo and turn on the music.
No, nobody no woman would really like that, to be honest.
No,
Yeah.
even if she's attracted to you, she almost definitely doesn't want you
No,
to do
most
that.
women are like, "Keep the Speedo inside."
Yeah. Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
No, I didn't.
There's so, Barney Stinson,
Yes,
the,
yeah, yeah.
character, the womanizer, he sort of puts forward this, tactic for getting women to sleep with you that it really doesn't hold up in the post Me Too era. But his theory is that if you just are desperate for a hookup and that you feel like it's not gonna happen, you should just wait for her to leave the room and then take off all your clothes. And when she comes back, she'll be sort of disarmed by it and like she'll laugh and then she'll be like, "Oh, all right." And they all try it, all the characters on the show, and it works. It seems like maybe Sean is
Watch
the
this show.
proponent of this theory. He's like, if I just get pretty naked, she'll just be like,
She can't
oh,
resist. She won't
you. All
resist.
right.
Yeah. You silly guy.
Do not actually recommend that.
Yeah.
Not a good tactic. They do a garter toss, which personally I dislike in any wedding, but since they just met, it's even weirder because the garter toss, unlike the bouquet toss, involves typically the groom removing a garter from the woman's upper thigh, from the
Mhm.
bride's upper thigh. And he does sort of a sexy dance and then he bites it off of
Yeah,
her.
he, like, drags it off with his teeth. You
And
just
she
met this woman.
I know. She like agrees. Is like, can I bite it? And she's sort of like, okay. But she looks so uncomfortable. And this is where I think a certain amount of reading the room really needs to come in. Like, it's not
Mhm.
enough to just ask. And then if she says, okay, do it. Can you tell how uncomfortable she is?
Yes, and then I wanted to ask you, like, he just has this, like, air about him that's like, "We're married now. Fair game."
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, should a man be biting his wife's leg
Yeah.
in public like this in general? No, I don't think so.
Especially when she's clearly, she should be enthusiastic about it if you're going to do this. And she's clearly not. And then he asks for a kiss when she's clearly already really uncomfortable and she says, okay. Like it's clear that she feels uncomfortable rejecting him a lot physically. So
Mhm.
he's putting her in a position a lot where she either has to reject him in front of everyone or go along with it when she doesn't want to. Like it really reminded me of the whole idea of like the public proposal,
Yeah.
where then if she says no, everyone's like, boo.
Boo. Yeah, yeah. So she's like, "I have to say yes."
Right. It just feels like, at minimum, a great lack of awareness for the position he's putting her in.
Mhm.
Back in the wedding suite, she requests that he put a shirt on to sleep because he normally doesn't wear one. She asks him to turn up the thermostat. It's set at 69, and he starts riffing about how that's his favorite number. And that then he asks if she wants to 69 that night. And she's just like, nope, 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 nope. And he's like, oh, I'm teasing. I'm fully teasing. But he's making her anxious, and she's so anxious. She's like, I have to keep dialing back expectations because he keeps bringing up these escalating
Mhm.
expectations of intimacy. And then you feel like you really have to set a firm boundary because he's testing the boundary so much.
And he should kind of sense her feelings on this already. Like, she's
Yeah,
kind of giving you hints. She's giving you clues
right.
that she's not comfortable. So,
And the reality is that I would feel bad for him if he wasn't doing this because it sucks to marry someone who's just like not attracted to you and like they see you there and they're like, oh, not for me. But he loses all my sympathy
yeah. Yeah.
by doing this.
Mhm.
But she does tell the camera that 69 is her favorite
I
position.
I
So
did I
maybe
did love this little, like, it is my favorite, though.
she's
Just
like,
not
maybe
with
one day.
him. If it was anyone else.
Ah. He asks for a kiss again, and she says that they should hold off. And then he reacts in a weird way, too. He's like, oh, okay, let the drama ensue. What drama?
Yeah,
You don't
there's
have to,
no
you just met
drama.
her.
Yeah, you're
You're,
47. Like, come on, we need some maturity here.
I know we need to have learned some coping strategies for when women don't want to be all over your bod the first night that they met you by the big age of 47.
Mhm.
Then he makes a whole big like joking but passive aggressive feeling deal about her letting him sleep in the bed. And she kind of jokes back like, "Oh, there's three couches, your name could be on one of them, but no, you can sleep in the bed." And he's like, "Thanks for your generosity and your care and overextending yourself." And then he's like, "No, I'm kidding."
No. You're
Like
the
she's
I
letting you
hate the
sleep in the
kidding.
bed.
I'm like, she's basically saying, "We are in our late 40s. We've had a long
Right.
day, and we need a comfortable bed to sleep in." She coulda, like, thrown your ass to the couch. She's letting you stay here. No
Right.
need
And
to
then
joke.
he's being passive aggressive about like basically to call attention to how the very idea that she could ask him to sleep on the couch is like bad
Yeah.
or princessy of her, by like overly thanking her in this dramatic way. Like it everything he does just reeks to me of like, I'm gonna push the boundary and then when I get a no, I'm joking. If
Yeah.
I don't get a no, then it's on.
Mhm.
No, own your desires and also make space for hers. You're not doing either of those things right now, and it's childish. So that's where we leave them, and I don't feel great about their
Yeah.
future.
Not very great about this one.
We end with one of the better vibes weddings,
Mhm.
Caitlin and Devin. The matchmakers love that Devin is the classic gentle giant, and he could provide maybe the emotional safety that Caitlin needs, and they can heal each other. So, why is Devin a gentle giant? Well, he is 27 and he is a pro rugby player. Not something you see too much of around these
No.
parts. Um, he has a bleached like faux hawk.
Yeah, that was
So
a
he's
choice. That's a
yeah.
choice. But
You can see on the rugby field it's probably very intimidating.
yeah.
He
Don't want
says
him
people
coming at you.
no, I certainly don't. He says people always think he's a douchebag, but then realize he's a teddy bear. He says he doesn't want to be a 30-year-old bachelor because that would be horrifying.
Too old.
Imagine single at 30. He wants commitment, like a girl who would sit between his legs after a hike. He wants someone who works remote because he has to move a lot for his job. Also, ideally, she would look like Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, that one. When he said that, I was like, oh, come on. Like every other man in the world.
I know. We used to be allowed to look like other women. Now we have to look
Mhm.
like Sydney Sweeney.
Yep.
His dad was not a great guy. He left the family when Devin was young, and so they don't have a relationship. But now his dream is to have kids and to be like not a shitty, abusive partner and dad like his dad was.
Mhm.
He seems like very close to his mom because she was the one who was his rock and his brothers, I believe, growing up. Caitlin is 28 and she works for a marketing firm. And so she can be fully remote, but she also just loves to work. She's like a cycle instructor. She does makeup. She's been a high school teacher. She's like, if I have free time, I want to be working during that
Yep.
time. She's into big, burly men like Nick Bosa of the 49ers. So
I
I'm
was
sure
like,
they
you're
were
gonna be
thrilled to have a
happy.
pro
Yeah.
athlete.
I
Yeah.
was like, she's gonna be happy.
She wants kids with the right partner, like someone who will actually help, it sounds like. And she's had toxic partners, so she wants someone that she can feel safe being vulnerable with. Time for the wedding. Caitlin says the one thing that isn't perfect at the wedding is that her dad isn't walking her down the aisle. He is there. It seems like he's just very traditional and he doesn't want to give her away under these circumstances. And so he's not going to give her away.
And he makes his voice known all evening.
Another dad who doesn't seem to understand that he is wearing a mic
Yeah.
because he is giving the nastiest running commentary in the entire run up to the ceremony, being very like rude and demeaning about Devin's family. He's calling everything ridiculous. He's like, I don't give a shit about the flowers. He calls Devin's loved ones the visiting team
Yeah.
and all these fuckers and says he doesn't want to talk to them. His wife is like, well, some of them seem friendly. They're smiling. And he says they're probably drunk.
Yeah. Nope. He didn't. He's like, if I'm not walking her down the aisle, they won't care what I'm saying on my microphone.
I really got the impression that he thought that if he said no to walking her down the aisle, she wouldn't go through with it. And
Yeah.
now he's like throwing a little tantrum that it's
Mhm.
happening without him. And he's not getting to walk his baby girl down the aisle, but she's still having the wedding without him
Meanwhile, he
involved.
sounds like a baby boy right now.
He does. The only thing I had to hand it to him on is that Devin's side are doing a lot of those things where they're like, "Oh, oh, 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 oh," and I was like, that would also make me think that they were all drunk. Maybe it's a rugby thing.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're just
They're
hyped
like
up.
hyping
They're
him up.
hyper.
Yeah. Um, he also didn't wear a suit. Did you notice this?
He's like, if
Her
I'm
dad,
going, I'm gonna look terrible too. I'm just gonna make
he's
this
like,
miserable for everyone.
I will wear my shirt sleeves to show my contempt. Devin has on an olive green suit and a skinny burnt orange tie. Very creative look. Caitlin's dad looks enraged by him. But when Caitlin arrives, she seems pleased and they immediately are vibing. They're joking, they're agreeing with each other. The chemistry is just there.
I just wish
Before
he
they
would have
can
taken the sunglasses off his head. That
I
was a
didn't even
choice.
notice that. Oh my
Yes.
god.
He had sunglasses, like, in his faux hawk, and I was just like, "It's not even really sunny. It's a choice."
He's like, my hair just looks better this way. Before the ceremony really starts, her dad stands up and says, "This whole thing is crazy to me. Caitlin is my baby. I'm a mess. It's super hard to give her away." You didn't. Um, but thankfully, he concedes that it's her life and he trusts her, which seems very begrudging.
Mhm.
Like the modern wedding still really is often just a big play acting at men still having like full power and ownership over
Over
women in
their
their lives.
Yeah,
They
over
get
their
to pretend that they're
daughters.
giving her away.
Yeah,
She kind of called his bluff. She's like, "You're not giving me away, but I'm still
yeah.
getting married.
But,
Who's in
"Okay,
charge
thanks,
now?"
dad."
Devin then speaks and says he's fun and adventurous. He likes cuddling and chilling, but also music festivals. He's charismatic. He's a goofball. He says he's a pro rugby player and he's her teammate now. Caitlin is
Oh,
loving
yeah.
every
She's,
word
like,
of this.
eating it up.
She's like, same. And I'm also very, not a pro rugby player, but all the other stuff, same. She's like, I'm very loyal. I'm a good communicator, but you are now responsible for my wallet and my keys. And he's like, I've got you. They say I do. And they have a pretty intense kiss. So they're feeling
They're feeling each other.
they're feeling the way Mecca's dad was hoping that Beljalee would be feeling.
Yeah.
After the ceremony, Devin introduces himself to Caitlin's dad, who manages to be civil for a moment. And Jeff says he wants Devin to actually put in the work. He also says a sort of like backhanded compliment about his own daughter, where he's like, for better or worse, like she determines the mood of every room she walks into.
I know. I heard that too. I was like, "I don't know, Jeff."
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the way these like really intense girl dads talk about their daughters is a little bit both like if you touch her, look at her, I'll kill you because she's perfect and she's my angel. And also she's like she's a handful. Like I can't
Yep.
deal. She's like she kind of sucks low key, but like that's my baby girl.
Yeah, my dad would know. If my dad did
Oh
any of
yeah.
this to me, I'd be like, Dad, never."
Meanwhile, if my dad did say that to Greg at my wedding, that would be accurate because I can really bring a room down if I want to. But Devin says he has the best intentions and he does want Jeff's approval. And he's clearly like very important to his daughter. And Jeff is like, okay, well, good move talking to me directly. Like, I respect that. So then he gives a toast where he basically tells everyone present that he was really unhappy that Caitlin decided to get married in this way. But now that he's met all of Devin's family, he says, I would be so disappointed if I had decided not to come
Yeah.
because I'm rooting for all of
I'm
you.
having a great time. All you drunk people, you turned it around.
You're drunk in a fun way, and
You're
I
so
love
fun.
that. He's kind of like, you're all crazy, but I love it.
Yeah.
But this was the big comeback story of the episode is Jeff deciding to make a small concession to not ruining his daughter's wedding day.
Yep. Just,
Thank
you know
you,
what?
Jeff.
The controversial dads this season.
I know.
Mhm.
Some of the greatest villains of the whole first 3 episodes are the dads, and then we'll see. We'll see how their kids handle
Hopefully they're not on the
things.
honeymoon, you know what I'm saying?
My God. I know at least one dad. Well,
Jeff's gonna
I
show
think
up.
I think I know of 2 dads who would love to be on the honeymoon for different reasons.
Could you imagine
One dad is gonna
Jeff, Jeff and what's Mecca's dad's name? Well, how can I
Logic.
forget? Logic. Jeff and
Logic.
Logic are gonna be drinking pina coladas on lounge chairs, just being like, "You crazy kids."
Logic's gonna be trying to wingman and get Mecca to initiate
Mhm.
some
Tongue.
hanky panky. Jeff is gonna be like, "Don't look at her. Don't look at her in the eyes. Don't touch her."
Oh, and
So
Felipe's mom's got to be there too.
oh,
Just throw it
Felipe's
in, right? A
mom.
trio
Well,
of
she
all
has
trios.
Back in the suite, Devin is thrilled with how cute and dainty Caitlin is. I guess she resembles Sydney Sweeney to his taste.
Mhm.
And he tells us that he's a big physical touch guy, of course.
Rugby, you know?
But he says he'll wait to have sex until she's ready. I would say I don't think we see him ever bring up physical intimacy
No.
beyond like the kiss
Mhm.
after the wedding. Like he's like, I'm gonna wait. It actually seems like he is not introducing it overly much or making it a high pressure situation for her, and that is the goal. But I was a little bit worried by some of what we see in the preview for next week because we see her
Yeah.
crying and being like, I'm not like giving him
And what
what
he
he
wants,
needs.
yeah.
I'm
But I
like,
liked
oh,
them after this
I know.
roundup of couples. They were my favorite. I texted you. I said, I actually kind of like
I
these
know.
2.
I hope that's not what's going to happen because I'm like, Devin, this is the way. Stick with it.
Yeah.
Let her snuggle with her pink football safety blanket in bed and do not try to bring up
Yes.
69ing. Let's stick with that.
Well, he's going to talk
We'll
to
see.
Sean and get some pointers.
Oh,
And
we'll
it's all going to
see.
go downhill from there.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what will be on the docket for the next drop of 3, I think, episodes coming this week. Um, most of these couples, I think, are doomed from jump, but that's also what I thought about Jamie and Doug, and look at them and their 5 beautiful kids
This is
today.
fun for us, though. This is fun for me. It's a new format. I'm going to dive
Yeah,
in. I'm invested now.
same. The only thing that I will say is that one of the reasons I have not been eager to do Married at First Sight is that I'm uncomfortable with the idea of women being put in a home with men that they have not personally dated or vetted,
Mm.
sight unseen.
I was thinking that last
And
night, when they were in
yeah,
beds when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel with a complete stranger in my bed. I'm hoping these producers did their jobs.
right. Or like doing good vetting. Because there have been scandals in the past with men with unsavory backgrounds making it onto the
Mhm.
show. There have been some controversies when you're pairing women up blind with men they've never met, and then they're immediately sharing a room, going on trips together, you're putting them in a pretty vulnerable position. And that always gives me a little bit of pause. So I'm like
Mhm.
really hopeful that we won't see anything too alarming in that department
No,
this
yeah.
season.
Me too. Let's pray.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for a really positive, fun season full of love and drama. Leigh, thank you so much for diving into the Married at First Sight deep end with me.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Look at us. We finally did it after
We're having the
years and
best summer
years.
ever. Yes.
Hot girl summer.
And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe to our channel.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon, Leigh Blickley, and Emma Gray. Our production assistant is Tatiana Kenny-Smith, who also edits our video. This episode's audio was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like the show, please follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, tell all your friends about our show.
And if you want to get in touch, you can email the show at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. You can find our newsletter, Rich Text, on Patreon at patreon.com/richtext.
I'm on social media at LeeBZ.
And I'm on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Peter Arriaga, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Schiff.
We'll be back soon with more of Married at First Sight.
Can you keep